Hello, and welcome to the Contraband, where 6 Shakespeare actors play Blades in the Dark. I'm Ted Bushman, Gamemaster. I also use he, him pronouns. Joining me on this tale of organized urchins, hidden hedonists, and inflamed insurrectionists are, alphabetical by first name, Ben Isaacs, Carson Wright, Graham Ward, Jamie Hansen, and Kristin Perkins. All right, everybody. We're not going to waste time with all these big intros. We were in intros for 20 minutes last week before we started our first episode, so let's freaking start with it. Who are you? Who do you play? How are you feeling tonight? So starting in alphabetical order by first name, Ben.
Hello, my name is Ben Isaacs. I use he, they pronouns. I'm playing Hix Templeton. Also he, they. Wow.
Carson Wright.
Wow.
Oh, me. I'm so sorry. Hi, I'm Carson Wright. He, him. I play Aldo Basran. He, him. Sorry, was there another thing? I gotta be honest. I was trying to message Kate about work, and that's what
You're
happened.
great.
It's that upper inflection. We were like, and
So sorry. I'll just pass it on.
Graham Ward next.
I am the next. Hi, I'm Graham Ward. He, him. I am a professional dungeon master, actor, do other things. You can find me here on Ghostlight RPGs, running and producing and playing in a few things. I play Bram Borden, who suddenly remembers his name.
I am this alphabetical by first name thing has ruined everything.
you've ruined it.
This is
Everyone's for a rent.
So confusing.
Jamie.
I am Jamie Hansen. I am he, him, playing Varric, Lomond, also he, him, and I am excited to take any jobs that are offered today by any masked members of the high society, regardless of what they are.
Perfect. And Kristin.
My name is Kristin Perkins. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing the girl, which Ted wants it clear that I chose that name for myself, the moniker. She also uses she, her pronouns, and like Jamie and like Varric, just thrilled to be here. Thrilled to be in the company of the White Stag. Excited to play.
Yes, so excited. Yeah, we've got an amazing group of performers here tonight. If you're here for the first time, welcome. This is us playing Blades in the Dark, doing Shakespeare style stuff, and also much less super classy style stuff, though that's kind of what Shakespeare was about too. So anyway, during our premiere, 3 members of our crew were haunted by traumatic visions, some from the past and some, it seemed, simply from imagination. All of these dreams ended with the same image, a man wearing many rings and a man with polished shoes facing them down. These figures are known to the crew. Both of them are members of the collective working for this wealthy, magnanimous business partner that they've had over the last few months. And some of these dreams have led them to believe, these members of the crew, to believe that these men are involved in forms of child abuse and forced prostitution. Meanwhile, in the real world, the crew seems intertwined with the collective. When their boat was frozen in the ice, who showed up but the collective? When they opened a restaurant, who sent them a cook but the collective? Varric and the girl love them and the money they're bringing in and the prosperity that means for them. Hix wants to know as much as he can about them. Bram seems to be playing the company man, and Aldo is very suspicious of them. So, our show is delivered for your eyes only by Ghostlight RPGs, a secretive agency bringing the spirit of live theater to tabletop role-playing games. If our classified dispatches please you, we invite you to follow us, subscribe, and to take a look at the Ghostlight RPGs Patreon. A content warning before we begin. The Contraband is a crime drama set in a dark and unpleasant city, and we mean it this time. Episodes will almost certainly contain strong language, violence, and sex. They may also include human trafficking, implied danger to children, though we will not depict any violence towards children sort of on screen, and cruelty. Be advised. Advised. So, huddle around this single naked light bulb, cobble together your scrawled notes, and descend with us into the Contraband. And we are back. So, Varric, Hix, the girl, and perhaps one other member of the crew, you sit in the Corner Cafe, a 200-year-old institution that has served lunch to members of every member of the King's Assembly since its foundation. 3 stories high with dark paneled wood floors, brick walls, and beautiful tall windows. Through them, you can see snow falling in as bright a day as it ever gets in Doskvol. It's very cozy inside, rich with the smell of good food and the sound of enervated conversation. That, of course, is the one problem of being such an established institution. You get crowded, so the conversations can be so loud that one occasionally has to shout. But here on the second floor, in a little secluded corner, you don't have to be so loud. The White Stag, who, from the deference with which she is treated, seems to own the place, is treating you all to lunch. So let me hand all of you your metaphorical menus for lunch today at the Corner Club and Corner Cafe. I always want to call it the Corner Club. And you can tell me what you're ordering. So as an appetizer for the table, you can choose either squid bakes or goat cheese and fresh Coleridge style bread. And then the lunches are as follows. There are 3 main entrees for the day, which are a selection of stuffed mushrooms, including night market morels from the Gaddock Restoration Farm, traditional King's truffles, and Bavarian chanterelles, which are stuffed with cream cheese, parsley, thyme, ticarosi, yak cheese, garlic, and other spices. This is also paired with a raspberry-flavored Nebolio wine grown in a Charter Hall greenhouse across the street. The second dish is a pan-seared North Hook halibut, served with a peppery potato puree and lemon. The wine is a Bavary Sauvignon Blanc, of course. And then slow-cooked Doskvol grouse served with Gaddock Restoration blackberries, beetroot, and Alkebulani gravy. And the wine is a black Ticarosi Roja.
Just gotta say, this is the exact feeling of me in an actual restaurant being like, dude, I'm gonna just get the chicken. Like, you know, like, would you like to hear the specials? And you're like, sure. And then 6 minutes later, you're like, okay. Beautiful.
I'll have the chicken.
That is to say, I'm not there.
So what's everyone getting?
I think the girl didn't need to read very far into the menu. She saw the word mushrooms and got excited. She loves mushrooms, so she'll be getting the first entree.
Wonderful.
Varric will be going for the squid and the grouse as the entree.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Of course.
Wonderful. The grouse, yes, a good choice. A classic.
Living vicariously
Hix?
through.
Hix will say no thank you, open a small cigarette case and pull out a thin cigarette and begin smoking it.
Wow. Fantastic. So the White Stag, of course, is completely on board with this and has no concern with you not having any lunch. Bram, are you around?
Oh yeah, I'm in a far corner. I've got a paper open, reading up on whatever the politics page is discussing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
when I read the options, they literally finished the first one. I said, "Yeah, that," and never looked up.
Great. So you have joined, like you're officially known to be joining the do. You're not hiding there with the paper.
Not hiding. I'm just in the corner.
Great. Cool. Great.
Yeah, they
At your own
probably
little table. Maybe.
see me if they look around.
Sure. Great. Yeah. Wonderful. So the White Stag eats with all of you. She herself has the halibut. So she's sitting at the table with you, but it doesn't feel as if there's a human being with you. It's like being visited by a splash of color on a painting. The smell of her perfume fills your nostrils and carries with it a strange intoxication. Her tall features are artistically rendered with elaborate glittering makeup in bright colors that just manages to not seem camp. She eats the halibut with grace and perfect table manners, though not necessarily Doskvol manners. It's hard to tell exactly what it is. She leans over to Fleur, the girl, as she eats and says, "Tell me, how is the yellow parrot?"
We're doing excellently. The cook you sent over, Finette, is truly wonderful. It makes a very hearty oatmeal and other things too. Of course, other things as well.
I hope you're not serving oatmeal.
No. We had reason to make some recently for a charity case, but for good publicity for the yellow parrot, of course. We understand, sometimes one must perform charitable actions to appeal to the local demographic, to bring them into the restaurant, make them feel like they're part of something meaningful.
Is that all it means to you, charity?
I mean, surely, if it isn't benefiting the business, then it's just a waste of forage.
I'm so sorry to hear that from you. A business should benefit everyone. That's what we're in the line of. That's what our line of work is: creating civilization, society, something beyond simple barbarism.
Yes, of
I
course,
admire your ambition, of course.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I certainly don't think of the Yellow Parrot as barbarous. Perhaps we could do more charity work. Perhaps you have suggestions. I would really love to hear them.
Sounds like what you're doing is quite nice. I just was surprised at hearing such a bold motive, but I understand where it comes from. Now, tell me. Let me go with you into the side of strategy you're discussing. What kind of clientele do you see as essential for the Parrot's future? What districts do they come from? What do they need on the menu that they don't have?
Well, of course, I hope to attract the very best, always accepting that we might have days or weeks of charity where we might serve the riffraff of the city, the poorer citizens, and excepting for those days, I would hope that we would be attracting, upper crust clientele, sort of like this establishment. Only the
Yes,
best.
it'd be hard to get all the assemblymen out to Silkshore, but it would be a delight if we could.
I mean, certainly it would be, but of the same social standing, of the same class.
Yes. It's a
I know
beautiful
you
location.
visited, but perhaps you could come again.
Oh, I'd love to. Yes. Oh, goodness gracious. Yes. The schedule is so ridiculous, but I will put it in my schedule for next week. I'll come by.
Next week? Do you know what day?
Probably market day. I think that should be my most free day. I'll be there.
All right.
Wonderful.
Do you know what time? Perhaps it's okay if you don't.
No, I'll be there for lunch, I think.
Lunch.
We'll see. I'll send you a message if I'll be there at a different time.
All right, lunch at market day next week.
Yes. She reaches out and takes your hand and says, "My dear, you don't mind if I call you dear?
Not at all, no.
You are a gift. The Parrot is destined for greatness. Let me tell you, because I have seen many things achieve greatness."
Thank you so much.
Of course. And now, my friends here, and you two, my lovely, brilliant person. She gestures at Hix, and then to Varric, my keen-eyed sailor. Tell me how the work is treating you.
Splendidly. It's business, I would say, is booming, so to speak. In fact, it's something I was rather hoping I might be able to get a private word with you about a potential opportunity. Something else to bring up to the collective.
Of course, we'll find the time, yes.
Yes. But no, we very much appreciated help that was sent our way earlier, but
Oh, this winter is something dreadful, isn't it? I think he's paused a moment.
I would just reiterate that we truly did appreciate the help with the ice. Winter has been terrible.
Yes, just absolutely dreadful. Now, and Hix, how do you feel about that? Are you getting all the support you need from the collective as far as the work we've been hiring you for?
I think so, yes. Our relations with the collective have opened new doors for us and brought new opportunities.
Wonderful. Well then, perhaps, as I mentioned before we ate, I see Mr. Lomond will be back here momentarily. We'll get Jamie in a sec. Oh no! Are we? Has he reached out to you, Carson? We may just have
no,
issue
just
where
wait
it
a
is.
second, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no problem.
Neighbors using a microwave or whatever.
You know how it is. His microwave.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, just as a general note for this
Yes,
conversation with the
Heck yeah.
White Stag.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be just very quiet, playing it very close to the chest, not really sharing much or emoting much, letting Varric and Mrs. Duval take the lead on everything and just sort of take in the situation. That's kind of my approach for the meal.
Yeah, and she pretty quickly gets a read on that and stops asking you sort of pointed questions as she realizes that you'd prefer not to engage. Varric has returned.
Sorry, I blanked out for a moment.
I needed to step away to the restroom, of course.
Something. It obviously wasn't anything to do with the food, but something hit me rather, unfortunately.
Of course. No worries at all. Now, let me return to what I was saying before we got to lunch. I wish to speak to you on a more sensitive matter, work that is not within the original purview of what we've discussed and the type of work that we do. So this is, of course, completely your choice. But let me know what you think. You see, before our mutual enemy, Ruthless Engine, left the city, the control of the borders was absolutely draconic. Nothing and no one could get in or out. And with him out of the way, there are many people hopeful of returning to the city who might not have during his illustrious reign, we might say. One such is the Rathsbane family. Are you familiar?
I do.
You may know Thurgood Rathsbane. He tried to propose to Juliana Fellmore at the ball where we met originally.
Remember Thurgood Rathsbane?
Yes, I
It's a bit of an
recall it.
oaf. Yeah, a bit of an oaf, a bit of a useless twit, honestly. But he the very expensive brooch that was misplaced, sadly. She gives a little wry look at the girl. But his brother and mother, Darius and Vivienne, have been gone for 4 years, following some baseless charges against them both. They have an estate out in the Deathlands, a place that before the walls were constructed and before the cracking of the sun was quite lovely and had a great deal of countryside. Now it's surrounded by a personal lightning wall and was a bit of a prison for them and several servants for 4 years. But they've been hoping to return. I'm curious if you think you could help 4 long-gone travelers return home.
Well, we certainly have some experience outside of the lightning walls in the Deathlands, so wouldn't be.
And luckily, there wouldn't be too much. You wouldn't be heading out into the Deathlands specifically. You would be taking a train. See, yes, a bit of a disastrous place. We have a situation with them, which is that we had another way of potentially conveying them to us, but they were waylaid by a ruthless gang of profiteers, criminals from the Deathlands who call themselves the Marrow. They were once a brutal silk shore psychopaths who years ago were responsible for a string of ridiculously violent murders, but when their leader was sent to prison and executed, they all went into the Deathlands to escape the heat, where they'd become even madder than before. They wander the Deathlands. They happened to find Darius and Vivienne and their servants. They are now demanding exorbitant charges to bring the Rathbanes to us. What we were hoping was that someone might be able to get onto the train that the Marrow is using to bring them in, and to get Darius and Vivienne out of the car, perhaps, at best, without the Marrow knowing.
So you want us to... Hix is intrigued, sitting forward and speaking for the first time kind of in this conversation.
Yes.
So you want us to rob a moving prison, I guess, pluck some people in custody out of custody on this train as it's moving and bring them into Doskvol.
Without anyone noticing.
if possible, that would be the ideal situation. Because if the Marrow can feel that they have simply lost track of their quarry, then instead they won't see us as an enemy. We like to keep our friends when we can. So yes, that would be the idea. You would take a train. You'd of course pay for all your tickets. You take a train out to the first station in the Deathlands. Switch to the inbound train where you'd find the Rathsbanes and our friends of the Marrow, and then help get them out and hopefully off of the train before you get into Gaddock Rail Station. I have seen how capable you all are. We think that this might be a bit of a challenge, but when I heard what had happened to the Rathsbanes, I knew that there were only a few people to who I would go first.
You came to the right place. What are you doing? Bram is standing behind her.
Fuck.
Folded newspaper under my arm.
You've been here the whole time.
I was sitting right over there. You didn't see me?
No.
Well, I wouldn't miss lunch.
Just grins.
What you
Stag waves and a chair is pulled up for Bram.
But you told me that the politics was. Oh, never mind. It's...
Yeah. The people in charge, absolute shit. But as for your work, we'll take it.
I see.
Been far too long since I killed anybody.
And you see like a little flash in his eye.
I mean, I think we don't need to kill anybody if we're trying to make it as quiet a job as possible.
Yeah, you're right.
Good.
All right.
Well,
yes.
His eyes did not change.
The stag looks at you a little bit taken aback, and says, "I appreciate the enthusiasm as always."
You're paying, right?
Oh, of course. Did you?
Money is good as always.
Yes. Oh, yes, of course. We'll pay you 5 coin for the job.
5 coin. Sounds like a pretty dangerous job to me.
I think that our business transactions so far have been quite generous, but what did you say would be fair?
There's no need to haggle over doing things for friends.
right, this is a relationship, Bram,
Yes.
we have with our friends.
We're continuing to build trust, and we can allow this as a sort of a down payment on further work.
Yeah, of course.
He just clears his throat loudly.
Wonderful. The stag, unless there's anything that you wanted to ask her about, you get the sense that she's probably about to head off and says, "We'll get you more details as things progress," and slips maybe a paper to Varric indicating where they might meet privately.
As she leaves, the girl just says, lunch market day then. I'll see you.
And she's put on this gorgeous thick white fur coat. You don't know what animals are still alive in the world that have as much fur as are on this coat. She looks back at you sort of over the shoulder, just an absolute glamour model, and says, "Of course, my dear," and disappears off into the snow. The door opens downstairs. You see like flurry of snow flying in after her.
In the time that I was studying the group while I was in the corner, could I take an action to try to interpret where I think she might be from? Anything about her background? We have so little information.
Love it. Yes, absolutely.
So study, okay?
Absolutely, yes.
I'm gonna push if that's all right. I know we're not even in a score, but
Do it. This is interesting information.
I guess this is almost like a gather information action.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a 6.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to give you some information. So let's sort of go back and edit the script a little bit. So what happened when she was talking about charity? and talking about, although she mentions offhandedly having once been destitute myself and not knowing how much I was going to eat. And she just sort of throws that in the air. She says, "It pleases me to know that you are feeding the poor." So that gets mentioned. So she claims she has this poor background. You also try to, so she's a Severosi woman. Severos is another nation. There's all sorts of integration. The Akarosi Empire is not a single race of people or a single ethnicity, but she's pretty clearly Severosi, like first or second generation, and however, she speaks with an extremely keen Doskvol accent, specifically that you would know from your experience is one of like the sort of neighborhood accents that would be known either in southern Brightstone or northeastern Charter Hall. So this is noble family stuff. This is money. Yeah, money and influence. So that's like a pretty interesting detail from her. So yeah, I think that's
accent or whatever, the speech patterns, they seem unconscious or they seem deliberate. Does she speak deliberately? I mean, you seem to be playing her as a deliberate speaker, so that's why I was curious.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, could it be put on? You wouldn't be. I mean, this would be hard to tell without hearing her use another speech pattern, which might be one of the questions. Like, you don't know how her Severosi is, like how well she would speak the language that her parents may have spoken. But it seems, if it's practiced, it's been practiced for decades.
Okay, great.
So I'm also, let's just. I don't know if I want to start an official clock on this, but I think I'm interested in like the identity of the White Stag.
It's very much in Bram's mind.
Great.
So I don't mind.
Great
Clock.
Yeah, let's start that. So it's going to be an 8-part clock, and this is going to be called. I think we'll just do like White Stag dossier, since Hix started the dossier idea here. So we'll have that at 3 out of 8 currently.
We can compare notes later, Bram.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and so anyone can add to that clock, anyone who's in communication with each other. About the White Stag. So yeah, she heads off.
Bram, you're always a breath of fresh air. Great to have you join the table. Thank you. I'll stand up and give him a kiss on the cheek. Sit down.
yeah. Bram will be, very affectionate in a way that, as long as seems like Hix is open to it.
Of course.
I have been coming here for weeks hoping to run into her, and you lot come here once and were able to score a meeting with her. It's just...
That's what happens when you roll in 5 deep.
Are we 5 at the moment deep? It's...
Oh, I guess we're not.
We're only
4 deep.
Cut away to Aldo, like kicking his legs out off of a pier, just like.
The gang's all here.
So sad.
Wonderful. So, any other meetings here? Anything that gets discussed at the corner cafe?
I would like to. We don't have to play this out because we've been at the corner cafe for a while, but I'd like to. I guess this could be a long-term project, but I want to try to talk to the various assembly members and drop the idea, plant the idea of raising taxes on the is it the Alcabulani rum that we were
sure.
Yeah, I want to get them to raise taxes on it in general, and so
all right.
I don't know how much of a long-term project that might be to convince that to happen.
Yeah, I think we could. I think the best way to approach it would be starting a project clock for it and doing it as a long-term project. Let's maybe say 6-part clock to be white rum tariff on the assembly floor. Yeah. Okay. So so if you can finish this clock, you can at least get it discussed.
I am
not-
so excited to hear your arguments for why this should be taxed heavier.
to the crew or to
No,
To
no,
the
no.
politicians.
I'm just a fly on the wall. Thank God. This is your thing. Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah. So let's get the roll first, and then we can see how it plays.
All right, that was a consort roll, which
Yes.
I got a 1 and a 4, so that's a 4.
I don't think you do rolls that you don't get a 1 on at least one of the dice.
I was doing practice rolls and I got it like 5, 5, 6, but so I think I just used them up early.
Oh
tonight,
no.
so,
Whoopsie.
Practice rolls. Just like Jamie at the table, like, just damn it.
Just making sure my dice aren't loaded the wrong way.
Yes, precisely. Great. So yeah, that's a 4. So we're gonna put 2 ticks into the clock. And yeah, one of the first encounters you have is with a man from the restoration. What are they called? The restoration salon, who are sort of magnanimous. Yeah, they're not conservation salon. I'm thinking there's like the restoration club, which is this group who are sort of a subset of the conservation salon, who are a little bit more magnanimous and like they're like nominally pro worker and pro the poor, but don't do a lot in relation to that. And so there's this older gentleman, like sort of venerable one, who says, "You were saying something about Alkebulani rum, yes?"
It's just that bringing in these foreign exports, it's not doing wonders for the city's economy. I feel like we really need to encourage people to buy Doskvol goods. I mean, you know, our finest Doskvol rum can stand up to that Alkebulani swill any day, right?
Certainly can, yes.
And
Yeah, the latest
also-
from Barrow Cleft, my boy. And he, like, one of his friends, they sort of chuckle with each other. He's drinking it now, of course.
And of course, a slight side effect of that might be that there's more of it available for those of us who can afford the finer things and perhaps, you know, willing to part with a bit more money for the good stuff.
The gentleman seemed very like appealed to by the Doskvol is best one. These don't seem to be the kind of guys who are drinking Alkebulani rum, because they're Brightstone and Charter Hall. Like you'd be one, like the night market folks would be more of that. So they raise an eyebrow at that, but they seem convinced enough that you've sort of gotten the rumor started. Yeah. Wonderful. So we've just finished up lunch here at the corner club. We are now sort of moving out into the world, into the snowy day, and we're now in the middle of downtime. We've got some rumors. We've got a score maybe coming up. What are people up to? Specifically, is Aldo up to anything at the moment?
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He's up to some stuff.
Great.
Aldo's at a fight, if that's okay.
Yeah. Great.
He's in a fight if he can sign up for one.
Yeah. At St. Margaret's Theater?
Yes, sure. Whatever the nearest one is. I mean, he's
Yeah.
gonna put himself into this.
All right. So in St. Margaret's Theater, it was once this like lovely theater in the middle of Silk Shore. It has now been this 3/4 thrust has now been transformed into a fighting pit. Aldo occasionally works there as a doctor for some of these fights. It's a few blocks away from the Queen's Magnolia. You head in and it's just like warm and filled with the smell of booze and sweat, and yeah, there's a couple people fighting down in the ring, and you sign up, and they go, well, they get confused at first, and like, wait, you sign up, you head back, and they say, oh, Aldo, yes, we've got someone there who needs patching up.
And he's like taking off his coat, and he's like, not today.
Are you signing up for a fight, Aldo?
Why not?
We don't. Do we have a doctor on the grounds?
It's fine. If I will fix myself. It's no big deal. He like hands the doctor's bag to this guy. Honestly,
Great.
just like a little bit of a band, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Sure. Then,
Hey, have
yeah,
you,
I guess so.
Bram been in?
To St. Margaret's.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear?
Mm,
You hear he moved on to the next round in the Mudphyre.
No, I guess I missed that. I must not have been keeping up.
He's fighting tomorrow night in the Mudphyre Crown.
Oh, that's a good, wonderful.
It's on the oilmonger at the docks.
I'll be sure to be there then, of course.
That old Leviathan ship that's being repaired. Yeah.
Yes. I am familiar with it. That's all right. So he hasn't been here. That's okay.
Yeah, he's been a bit busy, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
But you saw the poster, and you see there's like a poster that's like, home fighting ring of Bram Borden.
Oh gosh, all this sort of like grimaces at it a bit. That's nice, very nice.
Yeah, we're just trying it out. We'll see.
Put me in, please. I don't want
All
to
right,
get.
yeah.
And he's like bouncing up and down, like anxious
Yeah.
to do it.
It's open mic night at St. Margaret's, so a couple people go up before you. You get some fist fights. Dude gets his nose broken right before you. So you're sort of in the backstage area in between these two curtains in the vomitorium where normally the actors would come through, and you see the person with like the little clipboard who's holding the curtain open, and you just see the back of this man who's naked to the waist, who is just pounding on the face of this person who's knows they've just broken 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
Just like poof, 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 and just walks away as the other person just collapses in a bloody mess onto the ground. You step out into the ring. There's sand all over the inside there, and the person who's facing you is a man of about 38. He's a heavy set, wide, got a sort of low stance. He looks like he's probably a regular, and sort of nods at you.
I picked them up before, no question.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Great.
This is let's see, what's his name? This is Flax Tenfin. Flax Tenfin.
Yeah, Flax 10.
Don't flax.
Aldo nods back to him and pulls up and waits for the signal. When does the fight start?
There's just a shout. And go! And and Flax is just waiting there for you. What does Aldo do?
Well, he waits. I'm gonna run straight at him. Just like straight at him.
Okay.
I don't know.
Great, amazing.
I'm gonna try to wreck him.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, this poor guy. I got a 6.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this guy, he's an okay fighter. He's big, but he's not, he's not terribly skilled and doesn't hit super hard. So you just leap in and wail on him. I mean, how? Describe how it is. What does it look like
so
when you wreck?
I think it's like the nerves and the anxiety, and the shout starts, and he just like runs straight in for it. And if he puts up his hands or takes a swing, I think he's kind of gets under it and then comes up. I think he just puts his head into his chin if he's taller than him. So first, like, kind of gets under and then just comes up, boom, and hits him.
Yes.
And then grabs him again and just like holds him for a bit and looks at him in the face. And then probably that's good for a very big hit for now. And looks at him as if seeing like the blood coming out of his like teeth or whatever.
Yeah. Flax is like, oh fuck. Yeah, he's backed off a little bit, and Aldo, for anyone who's watching, is just like this lithe man with dark longish hair, maybe pulled back into a ponytail.
Yes, pulled back in the
facial
ponytail.
hair.
His shirt is open right now. You can see the ghost scar on his chest for them kind of emerging from it. And he's holding him there, and he's holding it. He's going to let go and then just try again. I want to take him to the ground.
Make it.
Okay.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
Just I don't want to take too long.
No, it's good. Go.
That'll be the exact same roll: 3, 5, and 6.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so you fight for another minute or so. There's just like he goes for a few punches at you. Does he ever land one or no?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think this is,
Yeah.
he takes a few, knocks him over a few times. In fact, I think this is, leading up to a few hits that fuel this next attack that he makes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Flax is really low. He's got some technique, or he tries to have some technique, but that's part of the problem is that he becomes a little bit predictable with that. And you've seen that every time you've watched him fight. And so this is just like you're already a little bit better at being able to predict his moves. He goes in for a few punches on you, but then you're just like wailing on him, and he just eventually collapses back against the ring and says, "Okay, I'm out." Oh,
and I hit him again.
Fuck.
And I hit him again.
I mean, you're wrecking him, right? So
Yeah.
in what way is this person's body wrecked?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not skirmishing,
I
you're
think,
wrecking.
No,
right?
no, I'm wrecking 100%. So the first maybe a dislocated jaw or a cracked tooth of some type, and the second time once I get him backed up a thing, I don't know if I bruised or hairline fractured something, but when he does that, it's like two fists again to the side of the face, and then it's like if I can get him to the ground, I want to be on top of him,
Right.
and
Yeah,
I want to beat him up.
you're moving towards this. You're moving down into this Fight Club. I wanted to destroy something beautiful situation, and as it's happening,
Beautiful flags.
two people leap out of the stands because someone says, "Hey, he's called out," and two people leap out of them. One of them is a man with a sword hanging at his waist, beautiful red sash around his neck, around his waist, and he goes for you to grab you by the neck and pull you to the ground. You can do a resist roll, or he's going to succeed at this.
No, I will resist.
Okay, do the resist.
What do I do again? That's gonna be proud.
You just roll. So yeah, you're gonna roll a resolve resist. Yeah.
Resolve. Okay.
Aldo's working through some stuff.
Hey.
This is what it feels like to be on the other side of Bram.
I don't want to take Brahms thing. I just
So take his thunder.
yeah. It's not that, but I rolled a 5, so.
Okay, so you take one stress from this,
Fantastic.
and they aren't able to pull you to the ground. They are able to push you back a little bit. You see Ekon, one of the lieutenants of the Red Sashes, says, "Hey, he called out," and another man who's just one of the fighters who says, "Hey," and it's just like trying to get a sense of you.
May I step in on another scene and suddenly you feel Bram's hand grab the meat of your shoulder?
Yes.
Start
Yes.
hugging you backward away from him.
Yeah. Yes.
Ted, do you want me to mark off some stress to flash in here, or is that?
Let's take one. I'll take one stress for that. Yeah.
I'll
Just
accept.
Yeah.
baby stress.
Okay.
So it might be you, Bram, went to the Queen's Magnolia, and you're down there maybe looking for Aldo in the lab, and Madame Belorma comes down and says, he was looking for you at the fighting ring. I thought you were fighting.
The fight? No, I'm not fighting tonight.
Oh,
What was he doing?
He looked angry. He just wanted
did
to
he have
look.
equipment, or what was he?
He
was
had
he
his
wearing?
doctor's bag, but he was wearing his shirt was unbuttoned. It was very. It's less modest than Aldo normally dresses.
Bram just shit, and starts, running through the doorway back to the club, and then
sprints out through the snow to
in this moment you feel his unmistakably rough hands grab you. This is not a Valentine's Day scene, but I
Do
say,
go on.
Get a hold of yourself, you bloody fool! What are you
Um,
doing? Let him go!
If it's okay with you, Bram, I think it's still the like wild animal moment, and if he grabs, he's gonna turn and try to swing at you. Just a little, like in a
yeah,
situation.
Bram will take it like
Okay.
a statue.
Oh, good. Can I roll to see if I hit you a little bit? How hard?
I mean, I think you
Sure.
got to roll skirmish.
Yeah, I'll scrum.
Yeah,
that's
This
what
is-
I
I'm not in this
Yeah.
situation. So I'm going to push myself to take 1 die of skirmish.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Do
good.
this.
You crazy fool.
4. No, sorry, it's a 4.
Okay, so it's going to be a partial success. What does that look like for you, Graham? What does it look like? For
Oh yeah. I mean, you're going at me like with fists.
Yeah, I'll turn around. I'll probably throw an elbow first. That's probably what
Okay,
would
great.
hit you.
Elbow. Brum barely moves. Fist. And then I'm gonna take you by the scruff of the neck and the wrist, and I can perform a feat of strength, physical force that verges on superhuman. I'll just lift you up into the air and throw you over my shoulder like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah. Great.
yeah,
Fantastic.
you land and like somersault on the sand. Smack your feet on the doorway of this theater and just are back on your back in the sand.
Yeah. Fantastic.
The hell do you think you're doing?
Can we get him the fuck out of here? What is going on?
I'll get
Aldo?
him out of here. You shut up.
And Bram is like standing in front of his poster with a menacing finger pointing at him.
If
And
you're,
then-
like, carrying him out, he's like, as
I'll
he's
carry
shoving,
you
he's
out.
like, "Where's my money?"
You get your fucking money, but if you get disqualified, you're not gonna get it, are you? The hell are you doing?
I'm looking for you.
They called the match. You almost killed that man.
I didn't mean to.
You didn't. What in the fuck is wrong with you? I
And if you're looking, there's something like he's taken something.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
becoming clear. Bram will be like checking his eyes. I mean, does Aldo seem like he's in danger?
No, it seems like you shook him up a little bit, that it's like clearing up, it's just mostly breathing and a little bit of shaking, but not unlike some scrawny guy who just went to a fight pit and
Great.
so
Yeah.
in fact Aldo will be like, I had to do something.
I've set
As
you
you're
down
both talking-
in like the trash pile behind the back door.
Oh, you took me to your house.
Whoa! Under the table. Under the table shot. Whoa.
Round two. You guys are both coming out, and
Damn.
Ekon, one of the lieutenants of the Red Stashes, steps out into the alleyway, sort of hands up, sort of looking for you. Ekon, for anyone who doesn't know who he is from the gang, the Red Sashes, who are an Al-Kabulani gang. Al-Kabulan is a nation to the south. And the Red Sashes are extremely skilled swordsmen. They're all very dark-skinned, mostly. And Ekon is a very friendly guy, for a friend of Hix. But there's been some sort of interesting tensions in the past. Anyway, he comes out. He says, "Sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to see if everything was all right."
everything is all right.
Look, I've just seen some of my men lately have been taking this stuff called Edge, and they've bought off someone on the street. It just looks similar. I just wanted to see if you needed anything. Help him go down.
I don't think he needs anything.
And I'll
He throws
let
it
you
behind
speak.
you into the trash.
Can you make
Ekon.
sure his pay makes its way to the
Oh, and now I'm
Good.
considering where to send it. Do we have a neutral spot where we can like take drops and stuff like that from people we don't trust?
I don't know. What would that be? It's a good question.
I guess the people know that we're involved with the
Yellow parrot?
Parrot?
Ekon certainly knows. Yeah.
the parrot.
Ekon
is
hooked
what I-
us up,
he's the
hooked you
one-
up with the parrot.
Great.
he's
Okay,
the one
great.
who
Yeah.
cut the deal.
take it.
I'll bring it to the
parrot.
parrot. Yeah, of course. All right, I'll leave you alone.
Right.
But he heads out.
And Aldo kind of sneers up at you and says, I made the edge.
Or to break your fucking nose.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
What are you doing? You trying to punish yourself?
Trying to do something.
Why don't you work on one of your projects?
I had the dream again.
Aldo.
I had the dream again and I saw her. I saw her. We need to do something.
Bram quietly lights a cigar.
Aldo. Do you want to meet her? You want to see her again? You want to do that now? You want to do that tonight? As a ghost? Because if you keep going down the road you're going, you'll be a dead man.
I just want to know that she is okay. I want to make sure that the people responsible for her get what they deserve. And we know where they are. We're fucking working for them. Can we do something, please?
What do you want to do? You want to play detective? Find something on them? What? Take them to court? You think we'll ever win a war against the collective?
As Bram's breathing, exhaling the smoke, there's like this screen between them, maybe, and you can kind of, like, Bram's features are getting obscured behind it, and he's just like this silhouette in front of you.
Although says it doesn't need to be so straight convoluted, does it? We could just take it into our own hands, right?
You mean deliver punishment? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like you do.
Well, like I do.
Yes.
What do you know about what I do?
I know that you deserve this as much as I do. You should want this as much as I do. These fuckers ruined your life.
Yeah, I did.
So are you going to do something, or are we going to just keep eating from their hand, doing their work, making them richer?
You think what we're doing is making them any amount that's significant richer than what they already are? You think what we're bringing them is a drop in the fucking bucket?
Even though
you and I do
much,
not matter to them. We do not matter to anyone in the city. We don't matter to that girl.
He spits in your face.
Yeah, Bram's just slowly backing away with the cigar. I don't know.
Yeah.
I imagine I'm like becoming more obscured to the point where you can't even really read my expression or anything like that.
Yeah. I feel that, and I think Aldo will kind of let the moment hang there for a second, and then he'll some fucking Bram Borden, so strong, so useless, and he walks away from him. If he lets him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bram just stands there watching him for as long as he's there.
Yeah.
I'm interested, Carson, in maybe putting together a little bit of the picture of what Aldo's been learning over the last few months. Is that something you want to do now? Do you want to grab that?
He goes goes straight from there to Hicks's kids. I'm calling him Hicks's kids, Hix. I hope you really like that.
They are their own, as we all are. They make choices, as we all do.
Yeah, and I assume that I assume I've been gathering information, in the months, and so whatever I learn here as well, if I can, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go find him.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry I didn't write it down.
Ruda.
Ruda.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Tulip and Ruda was the little girl you talked to.
Okay.
Yeah, Tulip is the sort of lieutenant. Yeah, and there's that little Coleridge factory that they're on the side of. There's also a couple different spots where they hang out. But yeah, you as you
He like cuts his coat back on. By the way, it's cold.
Mhm.
It's freaking cold.
Yeah, yes, very cold. As you are talking to some of the kids. Well, let's do a gather information roll and just see how your seeking goes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Roll your study or survey or consort
Yeah.
if it's showing close up magic kids.
Sure. I'll do a little consort again. I'll show up, and I'm definitely
Okay.
a little lower energy, but happy to see them.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah,
A little empty, but
Yeah,
I rolled a 5,
sure.
so.
Okay, great.
I
So
can
we're gonna
smell the gross on me. I'm a little scared
Yeah.
looking.
and we've also the other thing that sort of is not just Aldo's efforts is that you see some of the kids are there and some aren't, and some are a little bit more solemn, and you learn from them that there were a couple of kids who got in a fight over how much money had been paid to them by Hix and also by pickpocketing stuff they made, and there's a kid that stabbed another kid in the hand. And
jeez.
so there's just there was a fight here about 15 minutes ago.
Is the kid with the hand here?
He's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, and so is the kid who stabbed. So
Okay.
the others are just sort of sticking around. Yeah, there was a fight. So you get Ruda talks to you a little bit, and you would ask her about bad things happening, and she brings out a little slip of newspaper, and sort of now as she's handing you this and giving you a little bit of information, I'm going to give you some of the broad stuff that you've learned over the last few months. There was a day where you and I don't know anyone else in the crew who wanted to have watched a dog racing game where some of the masks were attending saw the man with many rings. He was with the White Stag, and you, maybe using your opera glasses, Aldo, got a glimpse of it. Maybe you stole opera glasses from Varric, but you got a look at a brutal-looking scar on the top of the man with many rings' left hand, the one where he wears all the rings. So really brutal-looking wound, as well as you noticed as he was walking away that he was wearing something on his left leg, below beneath his pants, something that was below the knee of his leg. Something that looked possibly mechanical in nature. You're not really sure exactly what it was. Also, you've noticed since then, all of the occasions when you've noticed him, you've noticed the man with many rings never walks at any speed. He walks very slowly, or just very measuredly. And there's no, that's just something else you've noticed. A third bit of information, identifiable trait was a tattoo on his right forearm, which was concealed somewhat by makeup, but partially revealed during the dog race. I'll send you a sketch of what that might look like after that. So
these things, I think, anybody else who saw it, but I definitely would have shared it with Bram over those months, especially in the early time jump.
If this was a few months ago, Bram would have been like, "This is good. Let's keep this information.
Yeah,
keep building.
Yeah.
We'll get somewhere." And obviously his tenor has changed since then.
Yeah,
I didn't pick that up.
You've also learned a few things about Casimir, who is the man with polished shoes, who was part of the job last week. He has a big dog, a huge mastiff. Very obedient and well trained. Mastiffs of that breed are rare and usually unique to Tycheros, though they frequently are sold in Doskvol as well. And Casimir is a Tycherosi name, but nothing about Casimir is evidently Tycherosi. Usually Tycherosi people have a tell of their sort of demonic blood, as it's referred to as. Also, another thing that you've seen is that Casimir frequently visits flower shops.
Okay.
And specifically in fact, you've never seen him visit the same flower shop twice. He always purchases large amounts of flowers, and he delivers them usually to a sagging old wooden storehouse in Char Hollow.
Now that is some actionable information.
Yeah.
Sagging what? Could you describe it again?
A sagging old wooden storehouse in Char Hollow.
Old wood. Got it.
The other thing, and this is the article that Ruda is showing to you, is something you've actually seen a couple times before recently. You've been following some news of any news of disappearances you've heard about over the last few months. And among the other things, one of the strangest sources you found is the journalistic work of a woman named Reverence Culp. We got rumors from Reverence Culp in session 2, I believe, of season 1. But she has this theory that there's a bunch of murders that are connected. She published this detailed and lengthy article, which was then like pastiched in the university press, where she says that these half-dozen deaths are part of a single narrative. There's a crow's foot butcher whose store stood with its back to the canal, a campaign advisor to an assembly candidate who died, a husband of an up-and-coming night market merchant, an architect tasked with renovating a number of sewer lines, a Coleridge vagrant affectionately named Old Sam, and a Six Towers painter who hanged herself. And you also learn from Ruda that Reverence Culp was nearly fatally wounded while walking through a construction site 3 days ago.
Who was wounded fatally?
Reverence Culp, the woman who
So
wrote
the
this.
conspiracy theorist.
Yes. The person who had this theory.
Confirmed.
Confirmed question mark?
It's all connected. It's all coming
maybe?
together.
Yes.
Okay, Resin Cole.
So I'm going to drop all of this into the rumors tab on our Discord just so that you can have this information. I know I did want to make you all take notes on it, but anyway.
I know, it's exactly how I teach. I'm like, you have to take notes, because if you don't have it, you don't have it. And then by Friday, I'm like, all right, they're online. Just
all right,
copy
here it
them in
is.
your
Yes.
notes.
Yeah, that's like how I parent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But you're just like, I'm
Exactly.
holding the line. You know what? I'm going to bed. You guys, it's
Yeah.
over.
Exactly.
I think at the end of this, he'll just say to Ruda, "You ever see a man with shiny shoes? I want you to run. I want you to run as fast as you can.
It's like shiny shoes. Okay.
Shiny shoes, or a dog, big dog, silver, shiny dog. You see them, I want you to run as fast as you can, and I want you to find me."
Okay. You notice her really like shyly holding out her palm.
And he gives her a bullet, and with not a lot of softness, but definitely like gives her the bullet, and says, "Show me what you can do." She getting better at it? Yes! Oh, yes, she
All right.
is.
She's
Nice,
working
good.
on it.
No, a little slower. Each one by one. You have to start slow.
I'm sorry, I just haven't eaten a lot today or yesterday.
Right.
Feeling tired.
He like pats his pockets down and finds a few coins and looks around. It might be a little dangerous to give you this, but why don't you take it and remember, you see him, you find me, okay? You find me.
Okay.
And give her some coppers and is Tulip watching?
Yeah, Tulip actually has just shown up a couple minutes ago. She's talking with a couple of the others, doing little secret handshakes.
Great.
And she looks over at you and waves.
And on the way out, I'll kind of pass Tulip and I'll say, "You can tell him I was here," and then I'll leave.
She says, "See you later, governor."
She's the best. All right.
She just lets you go.
Fantastic.
All right. So, yeah, that's some downtime actions. That's some Aldo chapters. That's some information. Oh, Graham is dancing in the background.
Hopping from roof, rafter to rafter.
Disappeared. Amazing. All right, who else is doing some downtime? So, what's going on?
Question, Ted. So last time we went into the deathlands, we had to get like our outfits. But this time
Yeah.
we're just sort of transferring trains. We're not actually spending time in the wild.
You won't be in the Deathlands itself. Yeah, you'll stop at a train station out at some like radiant energy farms that exist essentially. So you'll be inside lightning walls the entire time, both of that.
Okay.
I'd like to go talk to the Railjacks to acquire an asset.
Okay.
Officially,
Yeah.
to just have them be aware of the situation and have our back. Get some information on this train. So if anyone wants to come with me, you're welcome to.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
come along.
I'm not quite sure who to talk to about this.
Pike Renforth's
Yes.
probably your guy.
Okay, great. Yeah. How's
Because
Pike
he's
doing
now
after.
Yeah, you head to Night Market. There is now an official. There's a building that was recently like cleared out. There used to be some old like storage stuff there, and now it's been cleared out and made into the Union headquarters for the Railjacks. Last season, you helped them get to a situation where they now have an official union, and Pike Renford has been named as their leader, along with other members of a committee. So you head in, it's well lit, it's pretty well put together. You've got Railjacks that people are picking up work, they're doing stuff, everybody's leaving the call, it's fine. We'll eventually have our crew back. I'm just gonna leave, guys. I'll be back in a sec.
All right, cool. Just send Pike in and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll send Pike in. Pike, there's a person at a desk, a young person, Peter Chain, who worked for some time on the Orca's Tooth, and he looks up and he says, "Yeah, if you're here for a meeting, if you're hi,
Hi, Peter. How's it going?
so good to see you." He gets up from behind his like receptionist job and goes to embrace you.
I'll embrace him. I'll kiss him on the cheek.
Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It's like not super professional. Oh man. But
I
wow,
don't
it's so
know.
good to see you. Varric, hi. And he goes
Hi.
to hug you as well.
All right. Yeah. He kind of tenses up.
Oh my gosh. Have you guys seen my mom and my grandpa since everything went down? Have you visited them at all?
No, we haven't seen y'all. We thought we'd give you some space to sort of recover.
Yeah, no, of course I know. Yeah, thank you. It's been wild, but they're doing all right. So
Great.
It's good to hear.
yeah, I don't know if I ever got the chance to thank you all so much for what you did for my family and for all of us here at the Railjacks.
You didn't, but that's all right.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know you had like an address or anything. There was like that place, like that whorehouse. I never went up there. I promise, I never went upstairs. But it was like that was the place that I know, but I didn't know where it was, like what the address was. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. Like I did. There was one time
Well,
when I was
just
about
as
to, but
long
then,
as you don't know where it is, right? I'll just tease his like weird like expression of shame. Give him a little like wink. No, don't worry. Yeah, of course not.
he like does not know how to read it. He's like, yeah. Anyway, so what can I do for you? What do you need?
We're here we would like to take a meeting with Pike. He's busy, but perhaps he could open his schedule for us. We've got a lot going on.
No, absolutely. Yeah, he'll want to see you. And Peter like buzzes a little buzzer in the front desk. There's a pause for a second. Nothing. There's no response. And then he goes, "I'm just gonna go check." And he walks back to the office, and you hear Pike Renfor, who's his voice sort of booming through the office as the door opens, and he goes, "We will not take no for an answer." And then a ministry, Peter sticks his head in, and then one of a ministry guy walks out in like the official ministry uniform. You see the little hexagon and grain symbol on his lapel, and he just looks pissed off, and he walks out, and Pike comes after. He is still very thin. He was absolutely emaciated when you found him being tortured in the basement of the Hawks End Depot and experimented on. He comes out and sees you all though, and it's like a ton of energy, and goes, "It's so good to see you. How are you?"
Hello, Pike. Good to see you throwing your weight around a little bit. I'll gesture to the ministry guy and poke him in his ribs, I guess, if he's still like this skinny little thing.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we're doing what we can for him. Okay, come on in. Yeah, he's still got his like big old bushy handlebar mustache. Everything about his body has shrunk except for his mustache, which now looks abnormally large. Yeah, he's wearing a little suit. He's got a tie. He lets you in and sits you down and says, "Hey, would you like anything to drink? Anything I can get you? What would you like?"
Oh, a cup of water, a nice cup of room temperature water if you have it handy.
Oh yeah, I think I can manage that. Peter, and get this man some room temperature water. Not cold at all. All right, do that. Sends him off. How are you? It's been a while.
Doing well, Pike. Yeah, things are going well. We're sorry for me to cut right to business, but we have someplace that we need to be. I'll explain the situation. Presumably the White Stag has given us information on the train. How we're getting out there. And I assume that the rail jacks are involved with the trains with the rails, unless it's like a private train, but then they would perhaps be connected to the rails in some way. Yeah,
the particular train that you are taking out into the Deathlands is a public train. Like anyone could buy tickets for it. It is usually there are ministry folk or bluecoats on board trains, but there also is always a crew of railjacks. They're the ones who are the engineers on the train, and they also deal with any ghost problems. So you're going to have on a major train, you're going to have 3 or 4 to like 7 or 8 railjacks who are going to be on board at any train.
That's the train going out, but not necessarily the one coming.
No, both in and out in this situation. Yeah. Yes, the one going. Yeah, but in this case, both the trains you're taking would be public trains where you could get tickets.
Great. Well, I would just want to make sure that he has, if possible, a team of his most discreet, most helpful guys on this train. Helpful people.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's roll. Let's roll the acquire asset roll. So you're going to need to get equal to your tier in terms of this. Anyway, just tell me what the roll is, and I'll tell you.
I'll push myself. Rolling consort.
Okay. Yeah.
I can 8.
5 is my best.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll take the 8.
Yeah.
Thanks, V.
Yeah. Do it. Sweet. So you rolled the 8 as well in that roll?
Yes. 5.
Great. Cool. Yeah. So he looks at you and says, it's a busy time lately, obviously, with the ministry, sort of ruined. Obviously that's great for us, but it's also difficult for us just because we're managing a lot of things we normally wouldn't have in the past. But yeah, I can get you some good folks on board. Specifically, Elias is working again. This is Peter's grandfather, who was also experimented on. He'll be the engineer running the train. So, and anyone under him, I'll let him know, and he'll let them know that they'll help you out with anything you need.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pike. Appreciate the help.
Oh yeah, no, of course. It's been strange ever since we came back, but glad to be alive and not whatever was going to happen if I'd stay there much longer. So
you look like twice the man you were when we found you. You've put on weight, right?
You look good.
Yeah, it's hard. A lot of food doesn't go down well. There's still. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to bore you with all that, but yes, it's a bit.
It's not boring, Mike. Just hope that you're doing well. It was a really fucked up thing that happened to you, and I'm sure that we can't even really understand what that was like, but we offer our warmest sympathies. We are your friends and your comrades, and we want to be able to help you all out however we can. We appreciate your help on this.
Thank you. Yes, of course. And he says, it's just, and it's actually been helpful for the work. He reaches up his hand, and in this like a familiar gesture, because you've seen Bram do this before, his hand becomes translucent and glowing and blue and ghost-like. And he says, this does come in handy sometimes. And it's like clearly he did that much easier than you've ever seen Bram do it. It was just sort of this instantaneous. Yeah, take that.
Glad you're on our side, Pike.
Got to give this guy a high five sometime.
Don't
Anyway,
cross the
so yeah,
beams.
you head out of there and we're doing your thing. So I think let's maybe take a break here. We can see what we get to when we come back. I am interested in us maybe getting to Bram's fight before we end this evening. But yeah, let's take a second and we'll for all of our bio breaks, and then we'll be back just in a few minutes. Thank you so much for watching thus far. Great to have you. Hello, and welcome back to the Contraband. Thank you for your patience. We are in the middle of our downtime. We just had a very dramatic scene with Aldo and Bram. We just had some information be gained about our nemesis potentially. We're moving on. What other downtimes or actions are happening? What are people up to?
Bram is maybe spotted by any passersby, waltzing, literally waltzing down the street in Char Hollow, like a stone's throw into Char Hollow from Silkshore. And so he's like along, there are the canals continue through into.
Specifically, Silkshore, there's a long bridge that takes you into.
Yeah, he's on the bridge, and he's got a bottle of something which is nearly empty. He's so like messed up. He's in his like most dramatic state of unkempt, and he's just like bobbing and waltzing. You can hear him shouting all the way in Silkshore across the bridge. He has completely lost it, and he is on his way to the Orcus Tooth. And along the way, he sees someone on the bridge, and he just starts walking close to them. And he doesn't say anything, but he's doing that thing where he's like clearly has an intention, and he's right in their face, and he's walking backwards in front of them, and he's like,
Pardon me? Pardon me?
Yeah, pardon you. Excuse me, my lord. Excuse me, my lady, my lord.
Sorry, can I help you?
Can you help me? He says.
And the worst belligerent drunken behavior you can imagine. And then he breaks the bottle over this person's head.
Oh my gosh, yes. This person.
For those who are maybe less familiar with Bram, he has two bits of trauma. One is haunted and one is reckless, and his vice is drinking, fighting, and losing control to the point of collapse. So after he
this
breaks
person
the bottle,
dives at you after you hit him with the bottle.
Okay, yeah. Rip shots hit their head against the side of the bridge, and it's then anyone might notice that he is barefoot, and I take some of the blood and start smearing it along the rail of the bridge, and just like shouting and screaming, running off toward the Orcus Tooth. And I get onto the deck of the Orcus Tooth, and I say,
pull up the topsail. Who's in charge of this outfit? You slovenly creeps. What are we doing here? What do I pay you for?
Orisha, who's is eating, is like, Bram, you don't seem particularly prepared for running the ship, and I think we put the topsail in storage.
Why? Why is it in storage? You're supposed to have it up top. It's the sail. It goes on top.
Doesn't have a sail. It's electroplasmic engine. There are two other Leviathan hunter, maimed Leviathan hunters there. Risha's missing one leg and one hand. You see Jean-Pierre, who's missing a hand, and a couple others. And a couple of the new ones sort of look a little bit strained and afraid of Bram, and others are just sort of rolling their eyes at him.
I get really close to Orisha and I say,
Orisha, you know me. Why can't I bloody care? Tell me, please. I'm trying and he won't listen to me. I want to save his life.
And then Bram kind of rolls around toward the door into the piloting room where he tends to sleep. And
before he does so, Orisha, she has a hook on one hand, which she removes, puts it down on the thing, and punches Bram in the face.
he kind of like looks taken aback. Clearly, this has never happened before. And then, yeah,
She
there's
goes,
like
Do you need another one of those?
An animalistic sound emerges from him, and he'll like go into a full fight with Arisha. I mean,
Yeah, let's
I
do it.
assume we're pretty much on even footing in
Yeah,
terms
you're
of our
evenly
physical
matched. Yes, let's do it. Yeah.
I mean, no
so,
need to like go into detail, but he's like throwing
Yes.
wild, clumsy punches, and she
Yes.
probably beats the crap out of him.
Yeah, and she does all right. And you're like, it's not that, if she was to really get hit by one of your punches, she'd probably get thrown in. At this point, you've maybe tired yourself out a bit, but she's able to like really land a few on you. She's just way more in her element. And there's a couple moments where there's a moment where she, everyone's cleared out of like the captain's area. Your little couch is there. She like swerves the boat and you go against the thing, and she like knocks you against the side, like the door frame with that, and just smacks your head on the door.
Yeah, and Bram goes out cold, drops on the floor, and sleeps for the first time in a couple days.
Yay.
So this will be my stress recovery.
Arisha lifts you up and puts you on the couch with the help of Tormus.
Aw, she does love me. What I roll, it's been so long since I did a recovery action.
Yeah. So you're gonna roll your lowest attribute. So the thing you have the least amount of first dots in, you roll that many dice.
They're all
and you reduce that the much. Okay, so you reduce 3 stress. Oh man, it's obnoxious not having Hix around to help you.
So it's only 3 stress. I don't roll 3 dice.
You roll the 3 dice and you take the highest value.
Okay, then it is a 6.
Hey.
Great. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's awesome. I thought you'd rolled and you'd have gotten 3 threes.
Oh no, sorry. They're all
No worries.
my attributes are all 3.
Great. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay,
you
yeah.
feel a good amount better. Yeah. And by the time you do wake up, Arisha has cooked some really greasy eggs for you and gives them to you for breakfast. And she says, so a bit upset last night.
Sorry about that. I think I'll be all right.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, it's good. Good for the others to see me in action a little bit. I so rarely get to do anything interesting these days. So, who are you talking about? Whose life are you trying to save?
What?
You said there's no one else in the captain's room with you, but she said, you said, why can't I care? And you said you wanted to save someone's life. You're trying to. It's not my
I don't
business.
know what you're talking
I work
about.
for you. You don't have to tell me. All right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Grab my
I
coat.
think, yeah. And as you leave, she says, I think you do. You know what I'm talking about.
Slam the door.
Then he walks away.
Print it on the t-shirt.
All right. So anything else? Are there any other downtime actions people want to jump to before we go to our fight at the Mudphyre Crown?
Is market day before or after the Mudphyre Crown?
Let's say it's before, for the sake of fun.
Sure.
Yeah, so the yellow parrot, it's once again like a kind of like the weather is nice. It is still actively snowing outside, but it's on that day that a carriage rolls up to the yellow parrot, which is located in a little facing a canal in Silkshore. The other side of the street is a little bit gross, but taken from the right angle, it's a pretty nice little spot. And the carriage opens and out steps a woman in an absolutely gorgeous fur coat.
I think I've sort of planned for this, so I have someone on staff waiting outside the door to escort her in, not me, because I'm sort of behind the bar pretending that I'm not waiting for her.
Yeah, great. Does Tormus work some shifts at the Yellow Parrot ever, or is
Yes,
he
he does.
Okay.
No, he does.
Yeah,
definitely.
great.
I love that.
Yeah, great. So Tormus, with his holds out his mechanical arm to take her coat, and he very effectively. He's actually like at first, I don't know exactly what you think the fiction is, Kristin, but I'm imagining maybe at first you were like, oh, I have one of these Leviathan hunter smuggler guys, and then has turned out to be absolutely your top server. He knows the alcohol super well. He sells really well. The arm is a great selling point. People are always very interested in it, and he's very magnanimous about it. Makes a good few jokes here and there. This rough, scarred former Leviathan hunter has done quite well for himself as a server. So he takes her card. Please,
nothing but the best for the White Stag. Yeah.
Exactly. And she says, "Oh, thank you so much." Comes in and just sort of breathes in the air of the Yellow Parrot. There's a good number of people here. It's a pretty good lunch. Maybe you have some plants of people here who you made come in to make it look busy enough.
And one of the plants that I have is I have a table sort of off to the side a little bit secluded, but I've gone out sometime this morning, found just someone who looks, rough and ragtag, and said, would you like a lunch? No questions asked, just a free lunch. Just come on, you obviously want this. And then I've sort of dragged them in as a charity case.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
This time there is, I assure you. I just need a charity. I just need to prove that I care about the poor and the needy.
Yep. He says, all right, sounds like your problem then. But he follows you anyway. This scraggly haired dude comes in and sits, and he's shoveling the food into his mouth. The White Stag comes in and sees him and sees you. Are you coming up to greet her, or are you actively just
I'll have the moment. I'm sort of behind the bar, and I'll look up and, oh, I forgot you were coming in today. Of course, I'm so pleased to see you. We have a table.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything. I know it's the lunch rush.
No. As you can see, we have a couple empty tables. Not too many. And we have our charity table over here.
Wonderful.
And some of our regular tables as well.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Well, where should I sit? Tell me.
Just right over here, and perhaps by the bar.
Wonderful. Yeah, she takes a seat at the stool there, and sort of looks at Finette through the kitchen doorway, and grins at her. Yeah.
And Ted, I would like to treat this as a train.
Cool.
The girl, having grown up sort of in rougher parts of the city, is still sort of finding her footing, pretending to be someone very, very high class. And so she spends. She lets Tormus serve the White Stag, but is spending a lot of time observing the White Stag and sort of copying mannerisms and sort of training as the perfect host type.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you notice just a lot of direct, interested questions being asked to people, but not too piercing or personal, but just friendly enough. You notice her being very comfortable with silence, and she just sort of exudes this energy, and you imitate a few of her mannerisms and think about that, and watch her and take notes of some things you could integrate in the future. Yeah, absolutely. She eats some of the food, and at one point sort of calls you over, and you sort of have a conversation. She sits with you on the stool. She says, Fleur, I need you to tell me if I'm overstepping. I know that one of the rules that the Fox and others have put into place is that we ask only first names and no personal questions. But I wanted to ask, I feel like we're kindred spirits. I feel like we have similar histories. I don't know much about you. I don't know anything about you, but I'm curious. Who are you? What brought you here?
And the color drains from the girl's face, and she looks glassy-eyed and scared.
She grabs your hand and says, "Doesn't have to be any details. I'm just curious."
I mean, And she'll do her best to recover and sort of try and take off on the mannerisms of the White Stag again. And well, I think like you mentioned at the corner cafe, I perhaps also came from, shall we say, rough circumstances. And like you, I hope here I'm not overstepping, but I would love to build what you seem to have built for yourself and for your associates, and perhaps even for the riffraff of the city.
And like there are tears in her eyes. She says, "There is no greater thing we can do than to build something worth building. This is a place that is filled with so much corruption and evil and oppression. And I suppose for me and my experience, it just seems making things isn't easy. Running things isn't easy. People are complicated. But if we can, making a space like this, you've created a slice of paradise."
I certainly hope so.
You and the people you love.
Can I ask your name?
Yes. The name that she tells you is Clara. My name is Clara.
Name?
Oh. It's all right. It's a Doskvol name.
And you're from Doskvol?
No personal questions.
Of course, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
More wine, or?
I'm afraid I must be going. It's been such a pleasure, Fleur.
Yes, I hope you come again.
I've suggested these 3 additional menu items to Finette, and we'll send you the ingredients for them.
Was the menu not to your liking, or?
No, it was lovely. But you talked to me about your ideal clientele, and I think
Yes, of course.
if you want to bring in more people, you should have these 3 things.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
of course.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely
And I think
right.
replacing the sausages, it's just a little bit clear that you're not using the right breed. But it's so lovely. Everything is wonderful.
Replacing the sausages. Yes, thank you. I hope the rest of your day goes well.
Well, it won't reach the heights of what I've experienced here today. It's on her coat. That takes it from Tormes.
And I'll escort her out.
Yes. Yep. Okay. All right. Anything else? What's going on?
Yeah. Just a quick little thing.
Heck yeah.
Let's open this scene. Middle of the night outside of Eckerd's hut. Is there a light on?
It's my favorite opening of a scene.
Sorry, I just need to know. Is there a light on or no?
Yeah. Eckerd's middle of the night. You get there and it is dark, and then about 5 minutes pass and you see a form come up the docks from the canal and walk into the gatehouse, if you wait that long.
Yeah, I'll wait that long, and I will wait in the shadows and hesitate as he passes and goes inside.
Okay. Yeah. Goes in, the light goes on.
He'll approach the door, raise a hand to knock on it, and think about it, and turn around and go back to his own apartment. That is the biggest tease. I'm sorry, Kate, but goes back to his apartment.
What turned you off?
He's just not ready. He's not ready for this. But
Not ready.
But he goes back to his apartment where he sits out on his bed on his side table. There's several vials and syringes. At which point he'll fill a little bit of a few different things, a little edge, some quicksilver, the hint of something, maybe blood needle or something else, just like a little bit mixed in there. And he shakes the syringe up and gets the air out of it, and then just straight into his arm. And
Can I join you?
shoots
Can I
it
join this scene?
at my house. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, it's at your house. You're not at the.
I can do
at
it.
the
No,
lab?
yeah, this would be totally fine. Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
At the Queen's
lab.
Magnolia, then?
Sure.
At
Yeah,
the lab.
I'll go
Great.
back there, sitting on the cot, and I'm shaking this thing up, and I've just shoved it in.
Great. I'm walking and I'm like, hey, Aldo, are you? Oh shit. Whoa.
And he just like plungers down, and he pulls it out like,
What's up?
uh,
What's up, man?
nothing. What do you need something?
No. Maybe I'll ask you about it later. What are you up to? What you got there?
Shit.
Anything fun?
Yeah, no, it's my own mix. It's and he starts to like, you can see a little bit of his like a bit of it taking hold a bit. Though I don't know how blood needle works so much, Hix, but however that starts to look, mixed with a little bit of heightened like sweats from the adrenaline and also the like widened kind of eyes of the effect of the quicksilver, kind of all mixing together. As he's like, looks at you, Hix, and he's like, I can hear them. There's one right behind you. I don't see it.
Great. You want to find it?
You want to see?
Yeah, let's go.
And he grabs these vials and hands them to Hix.
I'll just take them and like put them in my pocket and be like, lead the way. I'm with you.
Okay. And so hopped up on this drug. He's just going out, kind of looking, Ted. The intention of like wanting to hear, not looking for anything specific other than trying to sense like specifics, details, see if he can find something, and especially anything that's in pain. He's looking
Great.
for.
And my manner in accompanying you will be just very encouraging for you to follow your impulse, and sort of like I want to be acting kind of as the bumpers, like the gutter bumpers when you're bowling. Like I want you to be able to bowl hard and not make it in the gutter. So I'm just with you, supporting, completely present, and following.
Fantastic.
Cool.
And I think for most of this, he'll sort of disregard you, except for like from time to time turn to you and like, and then like bring, set off in another direction a little bit, sort of just in as quiet a places as he can. It's middle of the
So he's specifically looking for suffering.
Sure.
Or,
yeah.
So and like ghosts that are suffering.
Yeah. I mean, the intention is like he's mixing around, like taking this quicksilver and trying to like jack it up, like put himself in a state where it's even more effective. And so like I imagine, he's looking down at his scar, and whether or not it's like like in his mind, that's what he's like feeling.
Yeah.
Just a few spots.
Yeah. So you're on like the coast part of Silk Shore. There's like shacks and little bits of neighborhood, but it's like you're kind of walking on these sandbars for parts of it, and like up into the neighborhood a little bit on this like abandoned park. And then you get to this abandoned park, which has this like gazebo that has been eaten away by time. It's just like the skeleton of a gazebo with no roof on it. And as you're doing that, you see out in the like down the hill onto sort of the beach area where like boats might have come in the past. you see a ghost sort of meandering, sort of as if it's pacing back and forth, moaning to itself. And you hear this like rolling off of it, and both of you feel whenever ghosts or whenever you experience ghosts or feel ghosts, there's a terror that seizes you. And so you can choose to be frozen and temporarily sort of unable to act, or choose to make a resistance roll against it.
Aldo loves it. He just lets it happen.
Yeah, same.
you
I do
feel.
not resist.
Oh yeah, you just feel the intensity of this cold coming at you.
Can
You're
you
probably
speak
at the
during
top
it?
of the stairs. Yeah, you can speak. Yeah.
You feel it.
I'm silent.
Yeah. The ghost starts to. You see its features. It's like a young man. It's got like the ghostly forms of clothing, saying, "Mom, Mom." It's just like going back and forth, and I didn't mean to. They made me join them, and it sort of turns and looks in your direction. You just see these pale, eyes lacking any interior, just pure white, looking in your direction. Mom. And the voice just echoes, Mom.
If I'm able to, I'm gonna turn to Hix and be like, "Give me the vials."
I'll
and he's
load it
like-
up for him.
Yeah, he's like, "Shook, boom," and he sticks it in Hix.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
You're always doing this. I'm just like looking at this, hearing like Mom ringing in my ears
Yeah.
over and over again,
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
like dosed.
Yeah, yeah, he wants you to see. Hear it. This is. And is it coming, or like, my hope is.
Yeah, it's sort of slowly moving towards you. And with like, even as it moves a single hand just a foot or two close to you, you feel like, it's cold out. There's ice on the water, but
Yeah.
you feel even colder. This point where it just like feels like the cold bottoms out, and you're like, I don't know if it can get colder than this.
Yeah. I don't
and-
want to.
and
I don't want
both-
to get
and
us
the-
into trouble necessarily, but.
Yeah,
sorry,
sure.
didn't mean to
Yeah,
cut you
no,
off.
it's 25 feet away. It's
Okay.
but it's
You
just,
don't, huh? You brought us out here. You're the one putting needles in people, and you said you don't want any trouble. What are you talking about? It looks like trouble.
Hix is like rambling. It's like, shit,
Oh, that's supposed to be the.
Just like
What are
muttering
the
to
bowling
myself,
bumpers?
like, oh my god, I never said I wouldn't fuck with Quicksilver
Yeah.
anymore. I don't like this ghost shit. I didn't even know what that was. I thought you were shooting blood needle. I thought it was just some good, clean, safe fun needle. I mean, I didn't know it was gonna be anything. And just like,
and you-
etc.
yeah.
Yes,
this is
and the
perfect.
feeling of this coursing through you enhances both the spectral aspect and the emotional aspect
Yeah.
of feeling the pain of this individual.
That's it.
And you see this person as they get closer. You see the evidence of the wounds that killed them. You see this huge dagger gash in their arm. You see like trailing, like you see two broken ribs revealed. This person was killed in some great violence, and they're sort of moving towards you and hesitant, just watching you.
Can I, for mechanical sake, I just need to know if this goes wrong. Can I roll my vice roll to see if I overindulge and might have something?
Yeah,
Bad
sure.
happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, it's just fine. It's a 3. I just wanted to know
Okay.
how this was gonna go.
Woo!
Oh, but I can get 2 more with you? Is this true?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
No, it doesn't feel right.
my vice is pleasure.
Okay, never mind. No, I'll take the 3. I'll take the 3. I'll take the 3. That's
I
fine.
mean,
This is
I'm
not
maybe
Hix's
down,
vice.
but I don't know.
No,
I
this
don't
is fine.
know. Like,
Okay.
You haven't shown me a very good time.
No. But Aldo
There's
will, as it gets close and he feels satisfied, he will break free and pull Hix if he has to away from it and start heading back to the Queen's Magnolia for a deep.
Yeah, it is like the utter like adrenaline is just enormous of feeling this, like how close you get to this thing. And the ghost eventually, like you sort of pull back from it, and it's, you know, as just even as you turn away, you can feel its interest leave.
Great. When we get back to the Queen's Magnolia, unless Hix, you have anything else,
I'm just with you, Aldo.
Okay,
Just sort of like stunned and just like, I mean, I don't know. I like that maybe better than church, but I wouldn't even say I like it. Just sort of like
having that way. And Aldo looks, I mean, very serious in ways he's never looked at you before. The wheels greased by this drug and this situation you happened upon, and he's like, it is important to me that you felt that. The feeling of being lost, of pain and regret, of not that feeling. I have experienced that feeling. That was me. That is my niece. And I need to help her. I need to help her rest. And no one will help me.
I'm here.
The fuckers we work for. They are not good. And I need help.
I'm only sort of like understanding, really.
Yeah.
I'm like disassociating, freaking out somewhat, and there are like moments of like I'm not really picking up on the specifics of what you're saying, but there's like, I continue to repeat kind of the sentiment that I am like with you, but it's like there's not much I can like really understand or do for you right now because of
Just the state I've put you in.
yeah because
Yeah.
of what you've done to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you said that. Not
Yeah, and I don't think Aldo necessarily gets more specific or clarifies other than like leaving it at that, and then he'll like embrace you.
Embrace you too, give you a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, and just kind of like lets it out a little and pulls away and says, "It's fucked up. I know. I'm sorry."
You're crying. Okay.
You take my needles better than anyone.
God damn you.
And
There are like some moments like with the chills that you would get with blood needle. Hix, you feel them, but they're sort of triggered by other ghosts in the area. So there's these moments during this conversation where ghosts are passing by like at 100 meters away on the water, and both of you just feel this huge chill pass through both. It's deeply unpleasant and terrifying, and you just feel so vividly how brutally cold this winter is, and it's sort of seeping into the laboratory and to your souls.
good. Excellent. And I'm good to fade out on that, Hix, if you are.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Now we're gonna go to some sports. in honor of sports time that happened yesterday. Sports time that I'm aware of.
Yes, sportsman.
The sports times.
Yes, they had it. So, who's going to the Mudphyre Crown? It's a big party. There'll be like 350 people there. You can
Hell
indulge your
yeah,
vice.
I'm there.
Yeah, 5 deep.
I am going.
Fantastic. Through the docks you go, through streets lined with docker bars and warehouses and tenements of tiny flats that would only be hospitable to those who spend most of their lives at sea. A line of electroplasmic bulbs, inconsistent enough to leave dark pools of inky blackness, lead you toward the sound of cawing gulls and the smells of the void sea. Out off Void Salt K in the docks, there's a long damaged Leviathan hunter ship, the Oilmonger, which sits in repair. There are fences blocking it off. It's forbidden, no entrance. And there are a couple of dockers in the area who, for a couple coin, will open the barrier and let you in and up the long gangplank to the Oilmonger, which is where tonight's event is being held, on the deck of this enormous steel vessel.
Oh, baby, I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
So the Oilmonger has been here for 10 years. It was abandoned by a Leviathan hunter family that went bankrupt after the ship was nearly destroyed by a Leviathan. So you climb this 50-foot wide ramp to reach it. So just for scale, the Orca's Tooth is like this 50-foot vessel that you guys use for your shipping. The Leviathan hunter ship holds 10 such small harpoon ships in itself, as well as multiple other small vessels when it goes out to sea. Leviathan hunter ships are massive.
Wait, our ship is a little peanut.
It's
like a little guy?
Yeah, it's a dinghy.
Compared to, like a Leviathan hunter ship is like an aircraft
I
carrier.
thought we
It's
had
just
like the
this
biggest
massive-
freaking boat on the water.
Just motivation to tear up, baby.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
get a Leviathan hunter ship.
We
They
need a
don't
ship
fit in the
to carry our
canals.
ships.
Wait
Yeah.
till you see the
Yeah.
renovations I put on the rough penny. She'll match it in size.
It's like a ton of
And
little
you're
tiny
walking up
sailboats.
talking about this. Yes. And you actually see there are tons of, like, giving scale, there's tons of little boats that are coming up along the side. People are like climbing ladders up onto the deck. There's like 400 people coming to this event tonight. These are, this is the, what is this called? This is, I know sports. These are the quarterfinals of the Mudphyre Crown. There are 8 individuals left in the Mudphyre Crown. There will be this round, one more, and then the Mudphyre Crown will have its ruler of whatever type. So you all climb up, you find all these people there. They're like little bars that are set up. The place has been just totally sort of renovated for the occasion. There's tons of people here. It's being run by the dockers who are taking a share of like all the profits from the like running the bar and everything else that they're doing. There's a bar where they're doing bets. So you can bet on the 2 fighters. The fighters this evening, there are like a couple warm-up fights that are people who already have gotten out of the fight, but people who are excited about for next year. And then it's going to be the final 2, which tonight are Bram, who has not given his full name. When he originally signed up, he gave his first name and collateral instead of his legal census name. So Bram and Jaren Narroway, who is a sort of surprise person to have gotten this far. He's a young kid from Brightstone who has done very well in the fight
I already
so far.
want to punch him.
Different Jared?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I thought you meant Jared.
I want
and was
to
like,
put some money down
Oh my
on
gosh.
Bram. I want to sidle on up. Like we're walking there, it's like the travel montage in Peaky Blinders, where like Nick Cave is
Yeah.
playing too loudly over it. We're all, like,
Yeah.
looking like cute badasses, like walking there. But yeah, I
Heck
want to
yes.
like sidle up to the betting counter and I don't know. I want to put 2 coin down betting for Bram, but I don't know if
Yeah.
there's like limits or if there's like rules.
That's a good question. I'd say you could put down 2 coin with the possibility of winning. You'll win 1 coin, an additional coin so you win 3
Right.
coin back.
So them's the odds.
If Bram wins,
Cool.
yeah, that's the odds. Yeah,
I'm so nervous. Aldo puts a bet on both.
perfect.
Varric's not going to bet on anyone, but he is going to grab Aldo by the meat of the shoulder and kind of pull him aside and be like, "You brought the edge, right?"
Yes, you asked me to bring it. I brought it.
Yeah, all right. This is prime place for us to make a little extra.
It's prime place for you. I supply it. You do the rest of it. That was the
yes,
agreement,
yes,
right?
Yes. Just hand it over, and I'll see to it that it gets in the right hands.
Fantastic. And he takes a big satchel off of his back and is like, "Your bag, sir." He like makes a stupid idea about it.
What, is the girl doing anything with the betting, or as this all happens?
I think the girl sort of eyes the betting table and then counts her coins and sticks them back in her pocket and shakes her head.
What's the girl's persona currently?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a good question.
Good question. Yes.
I think she's
Is she
rolling
Tess?
in as I always think it's fun to go to the fights as Jilly Youngblood. So she looks sort of like a middle class, like a little confused and a little scared. Like maybe her friend Hix dragged her along, but she doesn't really know what's happening. And are they really going to fight each other? And are they really going to hurt each other? Sort of that vibe.
Aldo definitely picks up immediately on that vibe and it's like, yes, the damsel in distress.
I mean, I just would hate to see my friend Bram hurt at all.
I'm sure
We
it would
all
just be
would.
Devastating. She'll wink.
Amazing. So yeah, you're out in a huge crowd of people. There's smells of all these fried foods. Like people are selling fried squid and also some like rat-based dishes which are common in the docks. So it's not exactly the corner cafe as far as the menu is concerned out here. There's the place where the fight is actually happening is there used to be some big piece of machinery, probably 40, 50 feet wide square, which has been removed from its slot. And so there's this kind of indent into the deck of the ship with some places where like machinery was plugged in and pipes were plugged in, but they've now been taken out. And so you've got this essentially level playing field below. And then a bunch of crates and Leviathan Hunter, like oil tanks and other things have been set up to create these like raked audiences for the fighters. In terms of some people who you see here, you will spot the red sashes are here. You see Ekon, and you also recognize Ajani. And there's a big like group of them all sitting together. One of them is a very broad-shouldered man with long locks who wears like quite lovely little gold-rimmed glasses and is talking very gently with people. You have heard of Milandu, but you have never met him. This is the leader of the red sashes. So he is sitting here just sort of holding court, very greeting people pleasantly. You also see a little cadre of people who seem to have cleared a space for themselves, and you don't know why they like have this, like if they reserved it or what. And when you come closer, you realize why. They all reek of gunpowder and smoke and are actively smoking enormous cigars. There's an older, pale woman, Gunpowder Sally, who's putting together betting money. She's like, all right, who's putting, okay, you're putting that much on him. We'll split it equally. Yes, we'll all split it equally. So she's taking all the bets from the other short fusers. You see Jack Spring. You see Peter Powder is there. You see Amelia Ricochet, who is actively like sort of casually tossing something, which you see as a stick of dynamite that she's just sort of tossing just for fun.
Good of them to create a smoking section.
Yeah, exactly. Which of you sees Ash Boy first?
I guess it's me.
Okay, it's Hix. So you are looking. You see these people. There is a small 11-year-old kid whose skin and clothes are all the color of ash, smoking a very long cigar. You look at him and you see him, and he turns his head and looks at you, and then he's gone. And you are like, what the heck just happened? And then you are punched in the gut by this small child who comes up to you and says, Ash Boy!
Good, you little shit. Why'd you fucking hit me?
You're here for the fight, mate. You're here for the fight.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm here to watch
Who you putting your bets on? Who you putting your bets on? Jared Narrowway, Bram, who you putting on?
Bram, duh.
Oh, yes, good. All right, great. And then he punches you again and runs away.
Ow!
So you see the short fusers. You also see Kirill Fairwind is here, along with a few other Brightstone people who look a little bit out of place, but they're sort of slumming it, including the absolutely jaw-dropping Natalie Kresh, who you went to university
school
with,
with.
Varric.
Yeah.
Oh man, she is trouble, but man, she's there with a couple other people, and you're seeing all of them hanging out, and they, you see them putting down some bets for Jared.
Yeah. I hope that who was ever running the okay. Never mind.
No, go ahead. Run the bets well.
Okay, you said the Dockers are running the bets.
Yeah. Yeah, the other friends, you know them.
I don't need to get involved in their business, but hopefully they're working these rich folk.
Yeah, these rich folks.
Go
Yeah.
on.
You see,
I
like,
have my private hopes.
yeah, totally. And you also see Eckert is here by himself.
Rolling
Sitting.
stag.
Yeah, sitting sort of by himself, just checking in, not wearing his collective coat, sort of back in his old ratty things. It might be actually an old military coat.
How's he look?
He doesn't look as slick as he looked for the collective job, but he's wearing some better fitting clothes, and looks all right.
Okay.
Yeah, actually.
May I ask a question? What
You may
have the Red Sashes had any benefit since Lissa has gone to Ironhook? Have they? I seem to remember there being some tension between them as far as the Red Sashes wanting to expand their territory into Crowsfoot. Have they been able to do that with the trouble?
Yeah,
in the area?
there's.
I guess I'm trying to glean
yeah.
if there is any reason why I should be able to talk to the Red Sashes and kind of repair the relationship and build inroads for when, so that we can mutually prepare for when Lissa gets out.
Yeah, totally. So you remember at the end of last season, the Red Sashes were starting to get chummy with the collective. Like they had done a few jobs for them, and then in the last few months, you've seen less and less of them involved in collective stuff. And yeah, there's been a push from the Red Sashes into Crow's Foot, sort of very tentative, trying to see what they can make happen out there. And they're sort of reclaiming a bunch of the area that Lissa had been kind of contesting very quietly, just trying to do their business. So you feel like they seem at ease. I mean, Milandu is here. He's usually pretty cautious about being out in public generally. All you know about him is that he likes to be by himself, and he's an art collector. But yeah, so I think they're feeling pretty comfortable. So yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so yeah, anything you guys are doing before the fight begins? As there's like people down there fighting, there's some cheering happening, sort of casually. A bunch of people are grabbing their food and placing their bets.
I assume Brahm's like in a back room.
Yeah, there's
continually
young...
sending people away who are trying to talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a girl. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if I can't get through, you receive a small pouch, and inside of it says, there's like 2 little syringes and a little note that says, "If you need," period, and then it also says "fuck you," and then it says "good luck."
Great. Reed Gatley, who's a woman you recognize. She wears a newsboy cap, red bow tie, long coat. She is one of the main organizers of the Mudphyre, and she comes back and greets you and says, "Hey, how's it going? Been seeing your fights. You've been doing great. You need anything from me before you start?"
No.
Great.
Spit on the floor.
Just so you know, we've added. We've been having some trouble. I know Spark is not on the rules. We've added another substance we're seeing a little bit more of recently to that. It's called Edge. So just so you know, illegal. It'll have you knocked out. Really sorry, but them's the rules.
Bram takes his hand off of the parcel that's beside him on the bench.
So Anyway, she heads off, and then she heads out, and you get some cheers. There's a lot of people. It sort of starts to get to the point where the crowd stops sounding like a bunch of individual people and starts sounding like an animal, like its own huge thing. And she steps out. Says, good evening, all, and welcome to the quarterfinals of the Mudphyre Crown. We've only 3 fights left until our winner is declared and the final purse is won. Tonight, we've got 2 newcomers, neither of whom have gotten this far before, is what I mean. The first, Bram from Charhollow, has been a participant in the Crown 5 years running. First 2, he never made it past the second match, but here he is now, 6 rounds in. This other one here is a young man, second timer from Brightstone, Jalen Narroway. So, may the best fighter win, but before we begin, a quick reminder of our rules. No poison, no killing. Even an accidental death of an opponent during a match will disqualify you. And at this point, you actually hear some people shout angrily, and someone says, "What about the Judas Pickett deaths?" And she says, "Look, we're not responsible for folks who die outside of a fight. We do recognize that we all live in Doskvol, don't we?" Anyway, there's some boos and some people, most sort of this like, there's this moment where it turns and the cheers outweigh these protestations.
These were deaths that had happened, I think, in season 1, right?
Yes, Judas Pickett was fighting in the Mudphyre Crown. 2 of his opponents, one of his opponents died, and 2 of them were very injured. And we're not recovering. Since then, 2 more people have died.
Yeah, they died outside of the fight, right?
Outside of the ring. Yep.
Yeah,
so Judas is still in the quarterfinals. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So she says, also, you can't place bets unless you're eliminated. So she looks at both Bram and Jalen, says, "You haven't placed any bets, have you? Or haven't had anyone place them on your behalf?" All right, great. And she says, also, final rule, no spark. We've also had to make an addendum to this rule. I know a lot of you folks have been very excited about a little something called Edge that's been showing up in Silk Shore lately. That is also not allowed. It's a bit of a performance enhancer. We try to
Aldo catches eyes with Varric on that, just real quick. Like,
as you catch eyes with Varric, he's got the fake beard on and he's like stooped over, like straightens up. Looks around.
That announcement probably just increased demand.
Yeah.
No, it's good for business.
Yeah, Aldo goes like,
and so the bell is rung. She steps out. The bell is rung, and ding, you and Jalen Narroway face off. Jalen is pretty lean, a little wiry. He's wearing like a student's shirt, which is a bit open. He's wearing some sort of worn-looking work pants that are like the work pants of a super wealthy person. And he sort of dances around a little bit. He's very quick. He moves really fast and moves a lot. And he sort of comes up to you and says, "Oh, good evening. Good evening. How you doing? You ready to fight?"
Shut up. and I'll like start an aggressive advance.
Great. Yeah. Yes. So actually, you were like, you were coming in. You're like starting to make a pretty solid walk towards. Jalen is so fast. He leaps on you before you're able to make your first punch. Let's make a resistance roll against his first hit on you.
Okay. And this is against
prowess.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a 6.
Okay, great. So you are able to, he makes a punch. He hits you hard, but you're fine. That's exactly what you're prepared for. That's what the Borden machine is designed for, is taking off this. We're going to start a 4-part clock called Feisty Little Bugger.
Don't call me that.
So go ahead and make your first move there.
Great. Yeah. Bram's tactic is generally to keep distance and watch. Figure out how their footwork moves and then get in the windows. However, this time he is unusually aggressive, and Aldo might catch a little eye contact from Bram occasionally as he's throwing big punches. Bram will kind of check up toward Aldo. A little extra sauce behind the punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll start with a skirmish. That's kind of how he tends to open,
Yes.
if that's okay.
That's great. Let's open with the skirmish.
That's a 6.
Okay, great. So we're gonna put 2 ticks into this, feisty little bugger. So he's coming at you. He's still getting some hits in, but it's really not making too much of a dent. You guys watch as they dance around. Really, Jalen dancing around him, just doing real circles, just very annoying. And Brahms just taking all the hits and lands a couple really good hits on the kid. So yeah, you're doing all right. There's a couple cheers and as a particularly good hit takes him. He actually rolls. Jalen rolls very gingerly and is able to get himself up. And he goes, "I caught a couple of your fights. Caught one 2 times ago. Your girlfriend, she's hot." And he looks up and you see Marlene is sitting at the edge of the audience here.
Okay.
This kid doesn't know who he's fucking with. Lean over to Jilly and say this.
What's the floor like in this arena?
It is metal.
Great.
It is the hull of a ship. Yeah.
Okay, and kicking is not allowed, correct?
Uh,
Is it?
Kicking is allowed?
It's all right. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, kick him, man.
So what I would like to do as he says this is time it just right. So as he's talking and I see Marlene, I would like to get my footwork around him and plant a foot behind his heel and then throw a punch at his, basically at his hip.
Yeah. I think this is great. I feel like playing a finesse would be the way to play this.
Sure.
To get full effect.
Yeah, your suggestion has been noted. However,
so I'll just
Bram
reduce
is not
effect on
known
one
for
of
his
the
finesse.
He is not.
How about I? Would you accept a prowl as I try to do this like a feint without him noticing? Maybe.
I see that. Yeah, totally. I see that. Yeah, that's fun.
You successfully stopped me from rolling skirmish. So.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
that's a 5.
Okay, great. So describe to me what you do, and I'll describe what happens. In the middle of it.
So I move the foot around behind him. I realize that my finesse isn't good enough, and I'll turn it into a feint. And rather than striking him in the hip, I'll go right for under the jaw.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. So you boom, knock him back. He falls a little bit, and as he's falling, he grabs your hand and twists and sprains 3 of your fingers.
Oh,
so let's resist that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No question. I would.
Prowess once again.
Yes. Actually,
Okay,
yeah. That's good.
6.
Okay. Great. So we're going to reduce that to a level 1 harm. So it's a level 2. We're going to take that down. So it's going to be 2 sprained fingers. And this is going to make it difficult in the future to be doing. So I'm putting this into my official document of harm.
Great.
This will affect.
Document of harm.
Yeah. Great. Cool. So yeah, he does this twist on you, and I, even as he's falling, after you punch them in the jaw, he goes, "Nice." Smacks the ground.
I lean down close to him as he lies on the ground, and I say,
I need fingers to do what I'm going to do to you.
Oh gosh.
Amazing. So we've just finished the feisty little bugger clock, and we're gonna add another 6-part clock called Flighty Git.
Oh, I resemble.
and this isn't
that
even his
part.
final form.
It's a new final form. So
That
yeah,
sounds
so
like
now
one of my
he's
friends.
so he's now moved. Yeah, he's hurt a little bit now, and now he's a little bit less focused on trying to make aggressive moves on you, and he's just trying to get out of the way, trying to do the thing that you'd always do on people, which is to just to wear them out by just letting them hit you. He's going to try and wear you out by not getting touched by you.
Yeah, a bit of a Fabian defense.
Yes.
I'll move my punches low then, and I'm just gonna really focus on his core. And I don't know if below the belt is disallowed, but I'll keep it legal. But I'm fighting a little dirtier, a little more toward the core.
Cool. Yeah, great. So you're rolling
How
record
about
skirmish.
let's try. I'll roll a skirmish while you'll let me, right? Why
Yeah,
be denial of
absolutely.
what Bram is good at?
Yeah, absolutely. Make the dice you have.
Okay, that's only a 4.
Okay. So yeah, you're gonna still get 2 ticks on this. So you've got you're a third of the way there. This you guys watch as the fight shifts, as suddenly like the energy and the strategy has clearly changed. The next move is that he reaches out at the right. He's just like getting the crap beat out of him. He's starting to like, you see a bruise that's going to form in his jaw, and he makes a particular move and kicks your leg while you're in motion, and you feel your ankle twist. So you can resist this. This is going to be a sprained ankle unless you resist it. In which case, resisting this will fully resist the harm.
Okay. What do I take stress when I resist?
You take stress based on like 6 stress minus whatever you roll.
Great.
So
And this one would
resisted all
be-
of it, I think, so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you resisted all of it the first, both times. Yeah.
Okay, that is a 4. So I'll take 2 stress.
Okay, so 2 stress. Yeah, but you take no harm.
Great.
So you're able to just like, you see it coming. He's like trying to make this move on you, and you just like boom, step on it. But you just like, it's just making you even more angry and just in the zone here. All right.
Yeah,
So
at this
go
point,
ahead.
I'd like to go for the hair.
okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And
He's
I'm
got a
actually going to
ponytail.
try and grab him from the back of the head and throw him by his hair, to the ground if I can.
Heck yeah. Yeah, do it.
Wreck?
That's a wreck. Yeah, that's a wreck. Yeah.
I'll push for this one.
Yeah.
5.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're gonna get the 2 on that. So you go for his hair and like almost get it, and he like just keeps dodging out of the way, but you end up just like bludgeoning him in the face, with your arm, sort of pushing him back. We're just gonna take reduced effect on that and one out of another. Well, what's the complication on this? I think. Yeah, I don't think there's another complication on this, except
Is the ref
Maybe I'm just getting tired.
Oh, sure.
yeah. I think the harm I would take is fatigued. Yeah,
Level 1.
yeah. Level 1 fatigued. Yeah, you could resist it again, or take the stress.
I will not. I'll take it. This
Yeah,
time.
yeah, we'll take the fatigued. Yeah.
And that will reduce my effect, right?
Yeah.
And the fatigue
Yep.
would be like general, right? So pretty much everything physical I'm doing, everything with prowess would be.
Most
Less effective.
physical stuff
Okay.
is going to be reduced. Yeah. All right, but you've got 2 clocks left on it, and he is looking exhausted. He is
So-
bleeding out of his he spits big glob of blood onto the ground, and he is not talking anymore.
Exactly what I wanted.
So I'll sacrifice position for effect, and
Nice.
as he's kind of recovering himself or whatever, maybe he throws a few more punches, and then I give him a little space, and I crank back and I go for a very, very reckless haymaker. So
Great,
reckless
awesome.
that my
Yep. So you're
My
now in
position
desperate. Yeah.
desperate.
Yes.
Mark a desperate roll for prowess, and
Yep.
I would like
Okay.
this to. You know what? I'll do wreck and I'll push again.
Okay. Woo.
The 5.
Okay. Great. He's out. He's out, and like, so what happens is like you make this punch, and you think you're gonna get this haymaker, and you go for him, and he just pummels you 5 or 6 times, this big thing, and you take it, and then you go again, and you miss, and you go again, and you miss, and the final time you just like slam him down onto the ground, and he finally goes down. So we're gonna move that fatigue to exhaustion, level 2 harm.
Okay,
Um,
I'll
Which
resist.
you could
that.
resist if you want. Yeah,
Yes.
great, resist it. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, prowess.
Wish me luck,
Resist.
folks.
Oh, Bram.
Yeah.
I got 2 stress left on my bar.
Oh my god!
The 6.
Oh my god!
And as his head
Intense.
drops out of view, I'm staring right at Aldo,
Oh, yikes, sirs. Yikes.
and I spit blood in like that it like a a spew, like
Spittoon.
tobacco juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Amazing.
I like unwrap my hands, take off my coat, and
Yeah,
like,
huge
set it on a
ovation
chair.
from the crowd. Yeah, there's a lot of. Yep.
I'm gonna look over to Kirill and Napoli as well, and try to get their attention once he goes down. And just
Okay.
hold up a bag of money as though I bet on Brom, and I got big winnings for him winning, and it's the money I'm making from selling whatever. But just like, guess you were on the wrong horse,
Amazing.
weren't you?
Yes. You see both Natalie and Natalie sees you first and goes, Eric, sort of, and then like smacks Kirill, who's like is sort of looking a bit distraught and looks at you and goes, so like salutes you, a little bit disappointed, but still keeping the smile.
And I thought Carol respected me more than that.
Well, he actually, it's like after the fight, you got like big crowds going out. Kirill comes up to you, Varric, and goes, I didn't realize it was your friend.
So he didn't give his surname, so I understand. You need to.
I thought it was just a lot of Brahms. I feel like such a fool. I would have obviously bet on him. Should have asked you.
Well, I didn't even know you were coming to this. It doesn't seem like you're.
Well, sometimes one has to see the culture of the city, Anyway, I should get out of here. There's pickpockets everywhere.
Oh, yes, right. And
As all this is happening, the girl is she doesn't do this a lot anymore, but there's a crowd, and in this excited crowd, she is going to try and pickpocket some people, potentially
Okay,
Kirill.
Amazing. Let's make a prowl on it. Let's see how it goes. I'll give you a little clock, so we'll have to do a couple prowl rolls.
And it's one of those things where she's like, oh, I can't watch. And as she moves her eyes down to avoid the violence in front of her, she's eyeing people's purses,
Yes, totally.
Great. Okay. Six.
Okay, great. Yeah, you immediately see a couple marks who are pretty good, and you're able to grab a little bit of change. If you can do one more successful prowl roll, I just get you 3 out of 4 on a clock. You can get a full coin.
If I do one more successful prowl roll, can I take from one of Varric's rich high school friends, university friends?
Yes, absolutely. No question. Of course.
Don't take my drug money.
That's a 4. So.
Okay, great. So yeah, you are able to you like snipping this the purse off here, and as you've grabbed a little bit that you got, you sort of you find yourself walking away, and then are run into by a young man wearing a crow feather on his ear. There's a couple of them, and they're like, maybe we split 50-50.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've just seen the most incredible amount of violence, and she'll start to cry and sort of try and bluff.
Yeah, so they both look at the purse in your hands, and one of them goes to grab you.
Right, all right. 50-50. And she'll take out a little bit, but she'll take out maybe 20% of what she stole. Give it to them.
All right, yeah, sure.
Roll sway, I say.
Yeah, let's do a sway. Let's see how it goes.
Or a prowl for sleight of hand.
Yeah, either of those I think would be
You
good.
think? I want to say proud because she's not trying to convince them of anything. She's just trying to give them less
sneak it.
than they think that is in the purse.
Yeah. Yes, sure.
That's a 6.
Okay, great. Yeah, they happily take a little bit from you. I don't know what we'll count this coin that you got as. Like, you have 0.8 coin.
Right.
Round up to 1, baby.
Round up to 1. All right, great. What else is going on at after the fight has ended? What does everyone do?
I've got my back to Aldo, and am talking with Hix, and if Varric is still there.
Great. I'll take the coin that I won. I won.
Yes.
You
won a coin,
correct?
Yep.
I'm gonna put it in Brahm's hand, and I'm gonna say, Brahm, take care of yourself. You're doing incredible work. I want you to just really do something good for yourself with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Hix. Thank you. I could use a little coin in my pocket.
I'm just like, patting you on the back. Super proud of my buddy.
Brom's back is pointedly toward Aldo.
Yep.
Embraces Hix.
And he's looking at it. And Aldo's gonna brush past, not bump you, but like clearly just like go past you. Step into your view and go past you. To go talk to the girl who just got shook down. Oh, did she need a little help?
You mean with those
Yes, with the crows or the whatever.
ravens maybe now, but it
Got
was definitely
caught.
feather. It's fine. I didn't give them as much as they wanted.
Why are you stealing here anyway? I mean, it's not like you aren't getting enough money.
I mean, money's always useful, Aldo.
And if she'll come, he's just kind of walking over to buy some fried bits and foods. I
think she'll come with you. I think
Okay.
she's also going to sort of look over to Eckert. You want to say hi? He seems very lonely all the time.
I think he's just where he wants to be.
I mean, perhaps he knew Bram was fighting tonight. You don't think he maybe expected you to be here?
Why would he want to see me?
Well, I thought you were friends.
Is that what you think? Is that what that all looked like to you?
I mean, yes. You care about him a lot. He seems to care about you. I thought that's what we were doing here in this friendship thing.
You and me?
Well, I'm new to the whole experience, but yes. And you and him, me and you.
We were friends once. I don't know if seems like that ship has sailed.
Are you paying for this or am I? And I assume we've sort of gotten to the front of the line of the fried lizard tails
and he
or
goes,
whatever
"Oh,
it is.
thank you so much. Thank you."
Me?
Yes, some of that good collective money. Thank you so much.
She'll angrily pull out like a little bit and get us both tails.
And then offer some.
Eel.
Lizard tails. Yep.
Eel tails?
Yeah.
Sure.
Fried
Grid.
bits, I think.
Fried
Fried
bits.
bits. That's what the sign says. Speaking of ships, Hix,
Sorry.
you run into, you get approached by Pascal.
Get out of here.
Pascal is here with a couple of crows, and he comes up to the group of the celebrating folks and he says, "I didn't want to interrupt, but congratulations on a good fight." Says to Bram first.
Very kind. Thanks.
How are things
He's-
for
he-
you lately?
Brom's
go
got
ahead,
like
sorry.
the athlete after the big game being interviewed energy of like,
Don't talk to me.
Love it. Yeah, he looks at Hix and Varric and says, "How are things going lately for you?"
Things are well. Business is good. I hear there's some trouble over in Crow's Foot. You've been dealing with some internal strife, from what I hear.
He shares a look with another crow who you realize is your friend Baldwin, who you met way back in the day. One of the real old dogs of the crows. Gray sort of mane, big long like mutton chops, no mustache, but he nods at all of you. And Pascal says, "Oh no, things are great. No, nothing, no problems at all." And you see like a flash of wryness, which is rare from Pascal.
I see. Well, that's good to hear. You're looking good, Pascal.
Yeah.
I always thought
good
that
to
the
see
Crows
that.
should be under your leadership. Lissa seemed a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah, well, she'll be back. I'm holding the post for her. He's like, you see, he's looking around. There's a number of crows here, and you just get the sense that he's watching what he says.
Doing
But
your
he says-
duty, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard you've been working with a new crew out of Night Market.
Oh, what have you heard?
Not much. Just I heard there's a lot of good stuff coming in, a lot of good money going around. I heard the Heron's Roost is involved.
Well, we try to keep a diverse portfolio of interests. We have been doing some work for some clientele with a little more diverse tastes and contacts, you might say.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's sounds like good work. But anyway, congrats again on the win. Maybe I'll see you folks around.
Pascal, before you go,
Sure.
I just want to say that this whole business between our crews, the way that things ended up between us, I still think that we could potentially work together and that we could be friends. And I think that there's a lot that our organization could offer you. And I hope you really think about that, because the Crows could be something really special under your leadership with the right supplies. So I hope you seek us out.
Noted. Yeah. We'll talk again. And he heads off. Yeah. You get the visitors of all of the short fusers, Bram. Ash Boy comes up, punches you in the gut, and says,
I take the
"I want a
cigarette
coin
out
off
of his mouth.
you."
Take the cigarette out of his mouth and stamp it out on the floor.
Give me that. Oh, fuck you.
Thanks for coming, you little son of a bitch.
I would have won 2 coin if you'd gotten them in 2 minutes. That's what I bet on.
I did my best. Did my best.
Well, I hope you raise your standards next time. He lights another cigar.
Give a handshake to the others who are there.
Gunpowder Sally and
Gunpowder
Peter.
Sally.
Yeah, Peter says, Sally says, "Great show, real good. You know who your next one is?"
No, they haven't told me yet.
Yeah, I guess I won't know until the fight happens. Until we see who else wins. And Amelia says, "You think you'll fight Judas Pickett?"
If I do, it'll be a real fucking fight.
Yeah, but are you worried about dying?
That's the last thing I'm worried about.
And I just give a broad, toothy grin.
Right. Yeah, Amelia's not comforted. And Ash Boy says, "Last thing he's worried about." And runs off.
Marlene still around?
Let's
can
do
say
a
no.
study or a survey for her.
Yeah, all right. I'll do a little
Let's
study.
see.
Come on,
Yeah.
Ted, it's Valentine's.
The 5.
I'm trying to give you what you want. It's a 5. Okay. Yeah, Marlene is still here, and she's sitting with a man that you know that she used to go with.
Okay, I'll walk by. I've got Ash Boy's cigarette in my hand. I just walk by and drop it in her drink. And kick the chair out from under the guy and just keep walking. I mean, unless something stops me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me roll a fortune on how well this guy does with this
Great.
with this kicking out. Yeah,
Let's see if she dates a fighter.
Yeah, this guy this guy sort of gets lunged forward, gets to says, hey, stands up, pretty big dude. I think he dropped something. Yeah, he's talking to you. He's not that much bigger. He's not bigger than you necessarily.
I mean,
He's
I'm
just big guy.
only like 6 foot, maybe 6'2".
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep walking unless he's gonna do anything.
Yeah. He won't follow you.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Grab my coat off
yeah.
the side rail where I put it at the end of the fight. Start putting it on.
The last person, I'm just getting all of the. I mean, you know how this is. There's always all the people you talk to after the show.
This is when I lean over to Bethany when I'm watching a show and say, "Is this the season finale?" All the characters are there.
The one you get is the one you get is a big, broad-shouldered man with gold-rimmed glasses. Milandu, the leader of the Red Sashes. He's big. He's like 6'4", and he says, "Most of my people bet on you. Thank you for not making me look like a fool."
Did they? I take that as a big compliment. I'm a bit messier than the fighting I've seen from your crew.
No, well, we have one in the quarterfinals, so maybe you'll be meeting him next time.
Ah, someone I know.
Alano, have you met Alano?
I don't think I've had the pleasure.
No, he's not really involved in the more street level work of what we do. He's a real master of the arts, so we try not to waste him on those things. In fact, that makes it sound like I'm in control of him, which I am not. So, but if he is lucky enough to fight you, it will be honorable.
Well, it would be a pleasure to meet him. Whether to fight him, I can't say I'd look forward to it.
No. Anyway, I will let you go. Good evening.
Night.
Yep. And he heads off. Anything else that happens at the Mudphyre Crown? Yeah. Aldo.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah, go.
So
Hit me.
when it just feels like everybody's kind of passed her and he's done talking with the girl, he keeps an eye on Eckert and he'll catch up with him when folks aren't watching.
Yeah, great.
I don't know if Eckert is lingering or wherever, but
yeah, he is lingering. Yeah, he sticks around. He talks with a few other people, just some folks you don't know, like gets a drink with them, and then you see him sort of hanging out near the deck of the ship, looking out at the lightning wall. And he sees you coming at a distance, and he goes, "Hey, Aldo, how you doing?"
I need a favor.
Yeah. Oh, this seems familiar. Yeah. How you doing? What is it?
Look.
I assume it's a dead body. Yeah.
No, it's not. Well, in a sense it is. And he hands over the Culp newspaper clipping
and
stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
And he says, I'm looking into something and I could really use your help.
Yeah, what with particularly? So she says there's a bunch of deaths that are connected.
And well, she, the one who put this all together, then dies. I don't know. I
mean, it looks like she might still be alive. It says she got injured. Right? Is that what I'm reading here? Yeah.
Yes, that's what you're reading. Oops. Yes. And yes.
I can read.
Yes. Although the details not that important.
Yeah, you have the,
you've seen all those work. It's very much kind of by feel. Anyway, he says, I told you they're not what they seem, and I think this is somehow connected to it, and I don't think I can trust anyone I work with. And I know I've been a real shit. But I need your help.
Yeah. What's your role on this?
Sorry, I had to go back to my
Consort?
dots.
Sorry,
yeah.
Want to make this about mechanics now?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna consort and push myself because I'm not lying to him.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and do a little pushy push and get
Great.
some of that here. It's a 4.
Okay. I'll help you. But this is what I need. We need to meet somewhere, not my place, just in case people are aware of it. Let's meet somewhere where no one would expect that we might meet. And I want you to tell me what you mean. What do you mean we can't trust them? What do you mean that they're not what we think they are? It doesn't... Look, I just need enough to know what this is about. These people are giving... We've never been richer. Look, I will help you. You just need to help me.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Yes, at least you set up a meeting. We'll figure out where exactly that ends up.
Right. I'll let. Do you want to?
Yeah.
me
Sorry.
know,
Yeah. We'll.
or-
Yeah. I'll send you a message. Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Sure. Yeah.
Eckert.
You.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey. We're 7th Squadron. Right.
It's fucking right.
Yeah.
And he turns and walks away.
Great.
Our conversation, I would love to roll a study to see if I have like just tracked that they've actually talked.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the question for Carson is, how concealed would you want to be from the girl or other members of the crew? Like, basically, what do you think she could see? Would she see without a roll, or
I think she would probably see without a roll if she were the kind to be wondering. She were inquisitive enough, but I think to get a sense of what was going on, maybe something like that. Like, see that I went and
if
talked
you
to
wanted
her.
more information.
Sure.
Sure. So should I roll for the more
Yeah,
information?
make a roll, yeah, and then Aldo can tell you what more.
That's a
you're
6.
pulling. All right. What else does she observe or get a sense? So you get a sense that you initiated the conversation.
Yeah, that I initiated the conversation. The body language, as one who's like you, who would study, people and the way that they interact, you'd see that the body language would soften. And you notice Aldo stop an impulse to reach with his left arm. That's what you noticed.
Cool. Love it.
Is that
any last...
good enough? You like that? Is that good enough?
I think I would
Okay.
have probably also seen you exchange like the paper.
Oh, yes, definitely. Sorry, I forgot that happened.
No,
Okay.
you're good.
Perfect. Yeah. Aldo's not interested in the rest of like Ted keeps track of the
Just
notes
the
for
sexual
me.
tension bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I was like, Ted, what was that
Any
again? Sorry.
Sorry, keep jumping to your head. Yeah, sure.
Varric could probably actually find Aldo after sort of while it's finishing up and be like, Aldo.
Yes. How was it?
It was good. He's going to hand over a coin.
Oof.
Yeah.
Nice.
I took account of the product, and it seems as though there's less than normal.
Yes. I mean,
that's eating into our profits.
I've been busy.
All right. Hey, no, I understand. We're all working a lot hard.
No, it's I mean, I want to make more, but it's, this stuff takes time.
Okay, well, if it's not something you can handle, I mean, we can.
No, I can handle it. I can handle it. I mean, this is what I do. This is why I'm here, right? I make the shit and you sell it. It's a good thing, right?
Yeah, and this is your thing. This is your stuff. It's just.
Yeah, you're fucking right. It's my stuff.
It is your stuff.
You hear them out there, they banned it. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm making it, right? I'm making it, okay?
Yeah. Have you ever considered letting one of us help, though? Like,
What, like
teaching me
Bram
if
in there? Like, oh.
Not Brom, but if you were to give me some of the basics of how to put it together.
You would want to learn how to make edge?
I might, I just...
It seems a little beneath you, doesn't it, little prince?
Listen, I just don't want you to be spending all of your time working on these things when you've clearly got other stuff on your mind.
No, I can do it. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. All right, I'm sorry. If it helps, I can give you a little... I mean, you can have this coin back.
No, this isn't about the money. It's just, I don't want you to feel as though, you're working overtime for no reason. If you need a little help, all we have to do is ask.
Right. Okay. Good
Good
talk.
work. Yeah.
So for a final ending note of our session, Bram, when you get back to wherever you're staying, you find you're at the Orca's Tooth, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You find a letter that has been delivered to the Orca's Tooth. The Orca's Tooth does not receive post, but this letter has found you at the Orca's Tooth. I'm going to drop the text. It is, as you open it, you see that it is printed on gridded paper, and it is stamped with a machine. It is something that we would recognize as a telegram. I'm going to drop the text into the chat for the group to see. This is not an error. This is the text. It is also going to be, if Carson's good with it, displayed on the screen. So, yeah, that is what does Bram do with this letter?
I'm not an idiot. I'll know a cipher when I see one.
Yeah, maybe just a quick scene of him like going into the area where Billy Hook's desk was, and set the letter down, take out a charcoal pen, and start working on the cipher. Should I do a study or?
Let's absolutely do a study. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just reading it in my head, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. Yeah.
A 4.
Okay. Yeah. So you struggle with it for a little bit. You're not exactly sure what it's gonna be. You try a couple sort of obvious, well-known ciphers. Let's give you another roll. Go ahead. Let's give another. Let's see if we can crack this tonight, if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
I don't have any stress left to give in terms of pushing. But,
no, you're just like exhaustedly working on this.
Yeah, it's like midnight oil is on.
Yeah.
Maybe the sun's coming up as I roll double 2s.
Oh my gosh! Amazing.
Give us our cliffhanger, Ted. Can I work out some of it?
Yeah. Let's say. Okay, this will be fun. This is a bit of a Deus Ex Machina. Bram falls asleep working on the cipher, and wakes up in the morning with Tormus at the controls and the solved cipher next to you.
Oh, pretty good, Tormus. Yeah, literally.
This is for a viewer. This is a Caesarean cipher. This is a 9 with a value of 9. So the full text reads: Mr. Borden, I hope you find this message eventually comprehensible. Stop. I thought it wise to make use of a cipher which I have recently learned about from my friend. Stop. And I have printed this using a telegraph press rather than handwriting for additional security. Stop. How is the cold treating you? Stop. I have not read a poem from you in some time. Stop. Ava, stop. And that is where we'll know session. What does Bram do?
As the sun
Just a final
rises,
moment.
Bram considers whether he needs to kill Tormus.
I think here, let's say this. Let's say Tormus identifies the type of cipher and says, all yours. So he has not read the text of the letter.
Great. That's very gentlemanly, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that is where we'll end our episode for this evening. Thank you all so much for being here. Gosh, what a great session full of character work. I'm really glad that Aldo got the full bingo of having a scene with solo scene with every other character.
I was feeling like I was pushing in a lot, but then I was like, I gotta go for the full fix here.
Oh, good.
I'll sit back next episode.
Yeah, we did get the full credit roll of as many characters as we could fit into an episode, so sorry about that. But so much fun. Thank you. So announcements. Tomorrow night, please tune in for Moonshay. We're so excited for this continuing campaign. Graham, do you want to tell us a little bit about tomorrow's session?
We're really excited. Our guest DM is veteran Janine Hempy, who has been running games at Gen Con and other events hosted by Baldman Games for a long time. We're also going to have some great guests, such as Teos Abadia, Alpha Stream, Enrique Bertrand, Newbie DM. We have Chris Gideon, we have Ginny Loveday, and we have Colette Quatch, who also, we're so excited to welcome them onto the stream. So anyway, tune in. Really excited to have everybody.
Amazing. Wonderful. Are there any other streams coming on? We did Pasión de las Pasiones last Saturday. Anything else coming up we need to know about?
That's right. I don't know if we have anything on the calendar, but
cool.
yeah, tune in for the Mondays and Tuesdays are what we're working on right now, and we'll be announcing some other stuff as well.
Absolutely. So excited. It's been wonderful. Thanks all for watching either now or later. And we'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much for tuning in for The Contraband.